Oh, you know what? I think I decided after this series, I'm going to take the White Sox to win the AL. How you feel about that? You frozen? Oh, I forgot. You think I'm mushing the White Sox.
I'm in a cup chair, chat.
It's like I don't think we.
I bet the under inflated Messi with Krabs. This is fucked.
What makes a finger blast a reversed finger blast?
How about I just show you? I went like this on my comforter. I was like pointing down.
I'm going to gift you a sub right now. It's $5.99. We're going to pay it. I did it from the Book It Twitch. So Book It just paid for it. Are you standing or sitting? You want me to comment on? I'll comment on fucking everything. I'll comment on the glare on the TV in the background.
I fucking hate hardos, dude. I hate hardos. All the fucking people in your comments about the lattes, and they're so fucking cool because they drink black coffee and fucking IPAs. Oh my God, I hate hardos, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Monday. Wow, it is August 24th. Football month is almost fun. Is almost done. Football month is almost done.
Good start. Good start.
Yeah. I'm not in tip-top shape. I'm not in tip-top form. Also, I don't know how this I had my Book It Sports hat on, but then I figured since we're going to be talking football, I'd put my football hat on. What do you have on today? What does that say? Rose Bowl game, and it's the Trojans? Is that a new one?
Hard. I just placed my Jaden Maeva Heisman ticket, so it felt appropriate, you know?
Okay. All right, cool. Well, we're fucking squad riding that because I got to go back to back. If Maeva wins it this year, I'm not on him. I'm going to be upset. Good morning, everybody. It's let's see. It's the recap on a Monday from a weekend where we don't have a whole lot of sports to recap. But we're gonna do some blabbering. I got a little bit of a weekend we can walk through and discuss. Nice, by the way, your beard looks sharp. I don't know if you just got touched up. We first and foremost though, we have to check in. How is the back?
The back, I'm fighting the good fight.
Are you making progress?
Yeah, I walked my daughter to school today.
Okay.
Moving around. I was thinking of going on a couple walks, maybe a sauna, something like that at the gym. But I'd say I'm at 65% if I had to give an honest number on it.
What is the plan, the get right plan to get your back better? Do you have a stretching routine? What are you going to do this week to improve your back? What's the plan of attack?
As you know, my wife owns a gym and she's very into fitness, but specifically like health.
Yeah.
And she says that it's massively because I'm such a large human with no core.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start working out core, and I need to get some flexibility in my hips. That's what I'm being told.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. I never work out my core either. I never do like sit-ups or crunches or anything like that. It's fascinating how you kind of just assume that a part of your body is the way it is because of that part. However, it's all connected to other parts of your body, which are important. Like even somebody was telling me that part of the reason, I can't remember what it was. Anyways, I need to work out my legs more. I need to work out legs. How many days a week do you work out legs?
Once.
Yeah, I need to do, and I do a bullshit leg workout.
Well, that doesn't count cardio, right?
No, that's not.
I actually work out legs once a week.
Okay, all right, that's good. Do you do like leg press, squats, leg extension? You do the whole thing?
Yep.
How many exercises for your legs would you say you do at the gym?
6.
That's pretty good. You do. What else do you
6, and I probably do like 4 sets of 3, and 3 things I do 4 sets of, 3 things I do 3 sets of.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I need to do. I just do like air squats after push-ups, but I need to do something else like that. Anyways, summer's gone, so we don't really need a summer body, but we do need a football body. Okay, we need a football body because football season. You know, most of you probably know this. Like, I'm not really telling you anything groundbreaking, but when you're young, you take it for granted. When you're older, football season really starts to wear you down. And I mean, you got to make some adjustments. Like, you can't just go to the bar every single weekend anymore and eat chicken wings and drink beer and shots and everything like that. But I think you've got to be smart and strategic with not even just like how many weekends in a football season, you do that, but like over the course of the entire day, I mean, like you're better at eating than I am. I eat shit if I go to a bar. You'll throw in like a salmon randomly, or do you not really do that anymore?
I feel like it's better advice to do your work like Monday through Friday, like eat really healthy Monday through Friday, so you can cheat a little bit on Saturday and Sunday. It's hard to go to the bar once that football gets on the TV. You have a couple beverages. It's hard to not to care. You know,
it's very hard. Well, I remember a guy on Beeson. I think his name was Maliski, Dave Maliski. He would always talk about how over the course of March Madness, for the days that start the first round, you know, when it starts like noon to midnight, he's like, if you're live betting, you need to be sharp. You can't be shit faced and sloppy. Yeah. So he would have like a strict routine of like what he would drink, what he would eat. And I was like, damn, obviously we're not professionals. We're just having
that guy sounds so fun at parties.
Yeah. Well, R.I.P. He had passed away, but he was he was a very, very sharp dude that I did enjoy listening to. Nevertheless,
next time, with all due respect, but when you tell me a story about a guy that could lead to me making a joke, maybe you mention that he passed away first, so I don't look like a giant piece of shit.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. But to be fair though, as I get older, I don't make fun of people that eat well and prioritize their health on marathon weekends of sports. I admire that.
Totally understand. It's just like, I don't really want to go to the bar with a guy who says like, hey, sorry, man, can't have a drink. I got to be sharp.
No, you can have a drink, but it's about like pacing yourself and throwing in that, that salad or something like that. Somebody said you got to work out before. Absolutely.
I think that's actually the best advice. Sweating before you go sit at a bar for 12 hours is number one, dude.
I still think, and I got so much shit for this, I think my Thanksgiving routine of watching the first half of the first game on the treadmill is absolutely brilliant. But yes, going out there, that run on a Sunday morning, on a football Sunday morning, also you just kind of start to dial in what you do and don't like. I already had a football thought. You want to know what it was? I woke up and it's funny, like I already started to think, oh my gosh, it's almost like masterclass time, start to think of the guys like that week who are going to go off, etc. If you're familiar with that, I'll say hi to the chat in a minute, by the way. I'm kind of trying to find my groove running.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
60% here. Yeah. First thought. This is so random. I could give you 100 guesses. You'll never.
Oh, really? Them. What about if you gave me a clue?
Okay. How about this?
Well, first of all, let's get through this. NFL or college?
NFL.
Player or team?
A player, a specific prop for a player in the AFC.
Good clues so far.
Yep. We actually just went over it. We just went over the division.
Okay, that's also very helpful.
But it's like a player, like it's not like a wide receiver receiving yards. It's like a, cheeky prop.
Is it a defensive player?
It's not. It's an offensive player.
Okay.
Yeah. Like obviously, like for example, like running back receiving yards. I always thought it was so random, like trying
it's
to
random like that.
Yeah. Wow. I think this is really good.
I do not have a guess, but I feel like it's definitely the AFC South.
Well, we just went over it. Yeah. So Jags, Titans, Texans, Colts.
Yeah. And is it Cam Ward
rushing rushing yards.
Oh, wow.
Dude, wow. That's really good. I can't believe you did that. So you want to know what I started to think about? I was thinking about how Cam Ward, he's already what I've been listening to people talk about from preseason. They're not impressed with how Cam Ward looks in the preseason. Now, I'm not going to run out and harp on preseason performances too much. You are very similar because I think you even tweeted this, which I agreed with you. I think it had to do with my first accusation was don't steal my bitch with DJ Moore, but you tweeted about players dropping passes in training camp. Like, let's bet on those guys. Never forget Jamar Chase when he came out of college. I'm pretty sure Jamar Chase was dropping passes in practice, and then he dropped it in a preseason game, maybe even played the Bucs or whatever. I started thinking about like, man, Cam Ward's getting some shit. It would be funny if Cam Ward, I'm rooting for him. I want him to come out and have a great season. But I was thinking about this, and this is the correlation. Let me see if you like it or agree. Jackson Dart is a mobile quarterback, but he found a lot of success in Daboll's system, right? Yes. And I know he overdid it. He was in the blue 10 all the time. He was running too much. He wasn't going out of bounds. He wasn't sliding. Like, that's not really what I'm thinking about with Cam Ward. But I'm wondering if to get Cam Ward to be a better passer, do we have him be more mobile and use his legs more? And then I was thinking, why wouldn't Dayball do that? Like, I'm not saying you make him Jackson Dart. He's not Jackson Dart. I think he's a better pure passer and quarterback than Jackson Dart. But why can't we see Cam Ward have 7 to 8 or 6 to 8 rushes for like 40 yards?
Well, you also kind of didn't mention, I feel like, the most important thing. He's panicking in the pocket. Even in this preseason, he's panicking in the pocket, and he's so into his ability to make that crazy highlight throw on the run that it feels like Cam Ward panics in a pocket before the pressure's even broken down. So, honestly, I like your bet, but just for a different reason. I think he forces himself outside of the pocket too quick, and that would lead to more rushing yards, in my opinion.
Yeah, that works too. I like that a lot. So I'm thinking that's actually a really good point now that I think about it. I'm thinking of like these props and these things that I'm going to try to attack before the market adjusts on them too much. I don't know if you remember this, but Jaden Daniels' first game against Tampa, do you remember I laddered his rushing yards and I think he had like 80 something?
Yes.
And then they were like, he didn't complete a throw to a wide receiver. And then Cliff Kingsbury and the Commanders were like, we don't want him running the ball that much. And then he just stopped rushing. I mean, he still ran, obviously, but he never ran that much. Anyways, 15 minutes. I will say that
since we're on the topic of Cam Ward, I have my concerns about him.
Well, yeah, let's touch on that. We got a couple topics to discuss. We'll do a little weekend recap, and then we're going to finish the SEC preview. Good morning, everybody. I didn't even really acknowledge the chat. It's good to see you. Everybody's coming in here with their stream streaks. We've got Mr. Shrimpy with 40, Captain Hooks Props with 240, Ryan Kinney 310, Matt Gothier. Appreciate you, Matt Gothier. Always liking and engaging with the tweets. Doesn't go unnoticed. Straight Locks 3 stream. Of course, Straight Locks fucking swinging from your scrotum sack was probably too busy 4 streams ago to tune in for a solo Jeff Sunday. Total Slayer 55 W board review.
So jealous.
Jay McSneak 13 minutes ago, 45 months. Start the day with a bang. Appreciate you as always. Steak, you gave out 5 subs as well. Degen Cheeto says,
look at this. First time chatter. Degen_Cheeto. First time chatter. Haven't seen one of those in a while. It says first time here. Who's ready for some college football and NFL? We are, buddy.
Yep, that's right. Degen Cheeto, good to see you. Welcome. Jordan Dunn 03 said Jeremiah Smith dropped his first target his freshman year as well. Very funny. Maybe don't hold the ball like a loaf of bread either. Yep, that's true. Hold the ball like loaves of bread. So Jeff tweet likers. Yep. Okay. So what kind of concerns are you having here with Cam Ward? Are they just strictly what you're seeing in preseason is still what you saw Cam Ward do last season, and there hasn't been an improvement, and you're worried that he just might be that kind of guy?
Correct. And it's not. It's funny because you just gave the speech about not overreacting to preseason, and I won't overreact to preseason, I promise. Just watch him play. He is fucking panicking in the pocket way before it's time. And it feels like he did the same exact thing last year. It was probably the worst thing about him. And the thing that I'm scared of is he shows glimpses. So when you watch highlights of Cam Ward, he'll make like 2 to 3 throws a game. And you're like, wow, that dude has it. But he does some things, man, in a game. I'd say 10 to 12 times in a game where you're like, is that guy any good at quarterback? And not selling him. I know everybody's high on him. I love Cam Ward. I think he's a good quarterback and will end up being a good quarterback. It's just I am concerned about him. I'm definitely concerned about the Titans win total this year. I think they still aren't very good.
I agree, man. I'm not even accusing anybody. I don't have any names. I don't have anybody specifically that I'm thinking of, so I'm really not calling anyone out. But it's fair to say that the Titans feel a little bit trendy coming into the season, and for a lot of good reasons. I think like a lot of right reasons to want to be in on the Titans. There's a very real chance that it could work out. But year one with Saleh and Daboll and Cam Ward, I have my concerns as well with how high I am on him. And again, that wager I had on Cam over passing yards, the fact that it almost got there was unbelievable. It was a horrendous wager. Like Cam Ward was a very bad rookie quarterback. Shit system, but he was not a good rookie quarterback. So I really hope to see a big jump in year 2, and it's not happening like this.
So many rookie quarterbacks are bad that I don't know that I could call Cam Ward a bad rookie quarterback with some of the performances we've seen from guys drafted in the top 10 or 15. But I get what you're saying. I don't know how much better you would have expected him to be.
Anybody in here, I am a Cam
Chimere DK and Elik Eilmanor as his top 2 receivers.
I get it. He has reasons to be.
Yeah.
But anybody in here that's trying to downplay Cam Ward as not being bad his rookie year has a memory of a goldfish.
But who are we comparing him to, with the exception
Not
of
comparing
Jaden
anyone.
Okay.
We're not comparing anyone. Watching Cam Ward play quarterback last year, he was not good.
Okay.
He wasn't.
So for the most part, I agree with you because I just said the thing about
I
him
know
doing.
you do.
So,
I know you do.
But I didn't think I was fine with what I saw from him last year as a rookie in the system with the players he had. My concern is that the leap doesn't happen this year.
I'm with you 100%. But again, even with the Brian Callahan system, even with the drops, which I harped on last week, he made so many really good plays and passes, and Calvin Ridley and these other fucking morons were just dropping balls left and right. He still was not good. Like, he was bad last year.
Yeah.
I'm with you on the leap. And here's another reason I think you're not really a whatchamacallit. You're not a Robert Salah guy. I told you
not
about
a Robert
this.
Salah guy, not as a head coach, as a coordinator. I am.
Yeah, I told you about this.
Yeah.
This is this corny coach shit that I can't stand.
Yeah.
This is what he does every game. I get it, but it's like, dude, Robert Salah is putting in work before the game tonight. Football guy. Let me tell you how much that matters. Oh, Jesus. What just happened? Here we go.
Even if that gets you excited as a fan, I worry about you.
Dude, that's my point. That's my point. These are the types of things. There is nothing about Robert Salah running the stairs in a stadium that should impact or sway your opinion on him at all. This is corny coach shit, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, I think it should impact or sway your opinion on him in a negative manner. You talk about a me guy move. It's a me guy move. You got the fucking cameras on you, bro. We don't need the cameras on you. You're the coach.
Yeah.
Worry about your fucking young team, douchebag.
Let's talk about something else that happened. So I didn't get to tap in a whole lot. Logan Carlson, by the way, long timer. Are we talking college ball today by chance? We are. We're going to talk SEC. We're going to finish up the preview. We had Jovan on, I believe. When did we have him on? Was it last week or
last week or the end of the week before? Probably the end of the week before.
It was the end of the week before, I believe. You're right. I don't know where you were. Where were you Friday?
I was with you and Jovan.
Oh, it was all three of us?
Yeah.
Oh, this past week you went to Savannah and I had a guest on. Got it. Yeah. He was the weekend before that. So we went through Ole Miss, Florida, and what was the other team? Texas?
Ole Miss, Florida, Texas. Damn, I thought we discussed one more. We didn't do Georgia. I thought we talked an obscure one. That might have been it. We got a lot of work to do then.
Yeah, we do. We do have a lot of work. Another thing to take away from this past weekend in the sports world was, I guess maybe it just happened. Was it last night or this morning? But I've been seeing about, you talked about, yes, I do. We talked about, or we didn't talk about, but I saw Ashton Genty apparently got injured.
Yeah, he got injured. Yeah, go ahead.
So I saw something this morning, and this is brutal. You know, I had a Twitter reaction video last week to the Texans receiver that went down. Who was that again? Higgins, yeah. In this offseason, it feels like there's more and more injuries. I'm not trying to get all Alex Jones and conspiracy theorists. I don't understand what's going on or why it seems to be happening. But again, we talked about it briefly, like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you practice hard, you get risk of injury. If you don't practice hard, you start the season slow, you look like shit. But this is something that's an actual real problem that I forget when it started coming to light about the field surfaces that the NFL uses, the artificial
turf,
the artificial turf. And we've seen MetLife. Obviously, you and I were right there when we saw Aaron Rodgers' Achilles pop. And there's been some other players that have gotten hurt, like on MetLife's field specifically and around the league. But then it became like this huge thing because the World Cup came into town.
Yeah.
And the stadiums in the United States, the football stadiums, spend a lot of money. FIFA was like, oh no, we're not playing on this. We're playing on real grass. So they put in the real grass. There was videos going out of there showing them take everything out of the stadium, put real grass in. Sprinklers would come up in the 70th, 60th minute or whatever it was. But now the artificial stuff's going back in, and we got guys going down on non-contact injuries. So is it Kittle? I think it's Kittle. There's a tight end that's really starting to push this movement about the NFL bringing back real grass for everybody to play on. Chad, am I right about that? Straight locks, Kittle, yes. What do you think like in all seriousness, what do you think it would actually take? I hate to say this, but let's just say, I mean, hopefully Genty is okay, because this
Do you
would really.
see the newest report?
I only saw that he was down, and everybody was like praying around him, and they thought like it was something really serious, and now it's just an ankle sprain.
Yeah, 3 to 6 weeks maybe after all that. And I think we have another problem.
What is it?
That type, like, what are those people called? Beat writers or camp reporters? You know, those people you've never really heard of, but they're at the camp and they give out the tweet about everyone joining in prayer in a circle to talk about the injury, and then you come out and it's a fucking sprained ankle. That's ridiculous, right?
I mean, it's hard to say, isn't it?
Yes, dude, that's ridiculous. I don't even think it's hard to say. That's ridiculous for a sprained ankle. Absolutely insane.
So, but here's the thing. How much of it can be put on the blame of the reporter?
Well, I'm not necessarily blaming the reporter. I just think it's crazy. It like sent the world into a tizzy because I don't know if you saw this tweet from. Do you follow Nick Bateman?
Let me see.
So he's funny. I don't know. He works for somebody. I probably can't say it on here. He's a funny kid. He mostly talks about college basketball. That's
he follows
how I found
me.
him. Perfect. Follow him back if you don't. You
I do.
Hollywood fuck. Go to his tweet about his draft. Go to his tweet. He drafted Ashton Genty in the second round. He posted his draft, like rate my drafts or something like that. It was like 10 minutes after it happened, and then he commented, "What the fuck?" It obviously went viral. It was fucking hilarious. But like people were freaking out, dropping Ashton Genty, picking up Mike Washington, making crazy trades for Mike Washington, because when you see that the team is down on a knee praying for a guy, you're thinking like, wow, this is season ending and it could affect the rest of his career. And then boom, it's a fucking sprained ankle. Do you see the tweet?
I see it right now. Just finished
Very
home league
right?
super flex draft. Don't think I've ever drafted a better team. CMC, Genty, London, and Olave. My luck this season is historically tragic, so we're beyond due for an elite season. And then I don't even know if it was an hour later, he commented, "What the fuck?" So I don't know, man. I don't know that I get what you're saying. And I saw somebody just comment this. It's kind of like banger hunting. I don't know that I can necessarily put a lot of blame on people like overhyping injuries, and then the injury comes out and it's not as bad. Paul Pierce is Exhibit A.
If they're telling the truth, Paul Pierce is Exhibit A, and I've seen people using that meme, so that's a really good shout by you. But it depends. Are they telling the truth? Did the team really drop down in prayer for an ankle sprain?
Well, but here's the thing. You don't know it's a sprained ankle. It could be something else. Ashton Genty doesn't know when he hurts himself that he sprained his ankle. It could hurt really good.
When you wrecked your knee. I mean, when you wrecked your
but there's been guys who have torn tendons in their knees and they've played through it. And then after it's like, oh, I did that with a torn PCL, a torn ACL.
I will say that this is the first time that I can recall that I've heard that a team was down praying for a guy who might be out 3 to 6 weeks.
So here I'm with you. Would you say it's his teammate's fault?
I'm just want to blame somebody.
I get it. I don't like this. How do you not know if it's an ankle versus an Achilles or a knee? This is where I'm going to push back because I don't like this. We're becoming too obsessed with the accusations of banger hunting. We've become too obsessed with the accusations of doing something for clicks. So there has to be a line. There has to be a barrier.
I wasn't really saying that. I was just saying, like, do we need these fucking guys at the practices reporting?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like there should be
absolutely.
There needs to be some kind of like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like governing of it. Like you can't just go to a practice and say whatever. How about that? You can't just go to a team's practice and say whatever to millions and millions and millions of people.
Okay, but you're saying you can't go to a practice and say whatever. It sounds to me like they're going to a practice and they're documenting what they're seeing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I
don't agree with you.
No, listen. So then, yes, I blame the teammates.
Yeah, but how about this?
I blame somebody. Dude,
There's no blame. There's no blame.
I want to blame somebody.
I'll tell you who we blame. Nick Bateman.
Blame Nick Bateman.
Blame fantasy culture. Yep.
No.
Why?
I knew
Why not?
I knew.
Why not? Why not blame fantasy culture? We care so much now because of our fantasy drafts and our team and the players that we have.
Yeah, that's okay. You're allowed to care.
100% you're allowed to care. But at the same time, you're not allowed to blame someone who's at practice.
I'm more mad about the misreporting, man. I'm not mad about
It's not misreporting is the point, though. You can't call it misreporting. The guy hurt himself and gets down and is in agonizing pain. The teammates go around
I don't
him.
think you guys are thinking about this hard enough, Jamie Lau. I do not think you're thinking about
It
it.
is Aztec.
Putting blame on them for kneeling for their teammate. You can't kneel for your teammate for a 3 to 6 week injury. Can't do it.
I'm so out on you with this. This is a bad take. This is a bad take. Fine. You know what this is? If I was a steak hater, you're acting like a guy who's never played team sports.
Okay.
That's what you're doing. You're like, oh, you never been in the locker room. Here's the thing. I don't think you're fully getting the magnitude of this.
There is no magnitude.
Yes, there is. There's absolutely a magnitude. The season's about to start. The season is about to start, and would you say, I know you have a rookie quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, you're coming and that's excited, but would you say, who is the star player that you're going to put? Well, probably it's Max Crosby. Genti is a big, important piece of the Raiders. He goes down. He looks injured. If you're a player, your first reaction is, fuck. When you're in a game, you kneel when there's an injury, when you're in a football game. You don't know what happened. The guy's hurt. I get what you're saying to a certain extent. Like a sprained ankle does not sound tough.
I'm getting fried in the chat. And
yeah, I'll be honest, unemployed take.
I don't. Homeschooled ass take is fucking hilarious. Whoever brought up homeschool first
this is great.
I don't even have a rebuttal for that, and I don't have enough ammo to fight this battle. To be completely
honest. No, I know. Listen, I actually think though you're not fighting it obnoxiously, which is great. Like I see the look in your face of like.
Mostly because I just think it's hilarious to picture all of the teammates on one knee for an ankle sprain. I can't get over how funny I think that is.
I know, but you don't know it's an ankle sprain when it happens.
Yeah, I know, but you got to know something, dude. You got to know.
Dude, stop. Yeah, you didn't get shot. There's not a bullet in your ankle.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm still not all the way there, but like I said, I don't have the ammo to fight this.
All right, that's fine. I thought this is very funny because this is not at all where I thought you were going with this, but I think this makes for an entertaining conversation because I do understand a little bit what you're talking about. The reporting of injuries is really, really important. Mm-hmm. And so that's the also thing. You can't underreport it. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, like, don't say anything if it's not a big deal. I think you have to. I think you have to say what you're seeing at practice.
It's just the first time I've ever seen it be this wrong.
I don't know, man. I disagree again. Paul Pierce was so wrong, dude. He got carried. Didn't he get wheelchaired to the locker room and he came back to shit?
He had to shit, right?
Dude, Ashton Genti is actually out 3 to 6 weeks. Paul Pierce came back and played the basketball game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
nobody reported Paul Pierce dead.
If we were on Twitter when that happened, Twitter would have been going fucking nuts. People would have cashed out of their bets.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Hey, sports. Actually, think about this, dude. People would have been asking for refunds, their bets to be voided, and then 10 minutes later he comes back in. Oh, never mind. I don't want the refund. Damn. That's good. That's good to think about. Fun hypothetical. Anyways, just out of curiosity,
I hated Paul Pierce so much. I know, and he was a fucking baller, absolute baller, and he was clutch and all the stuff. But goddamn, I really hated that guy.
He was what's the word? Not the Magic's kryptonite, but what's like just something that you
daddy.
No. Like annoying, you can't get rid of. God, there's a word that I'm thinking of.
Lingering back pain.
Yeah. Anyways, or no, not herpes.
Herpes is a good one.
Yeah. Paul
Pierce was the Magic's herpes.
He was a frustrating dude to play against every single time. Every time. And I a nuisance. Thank you. There it is. Yep. Back to back.
Yes, nuisance are good, but the problem is he was more than that.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of right. He was a little bit more than a nuisance. Like, I just feel like when I watched the Celtics in Orlando, I'm sure this is not correct. I always felt like Paul Pierce had 30 points. I always felt like he hit a clutch shot. and I just honestly cannot remember the Celtics leaving Orlando like losing. It just felt like every time Paul Pierce was in Orlando, it was going to end badly for the Magic.
No, he really did slaughter.
Arch Nemesis, that's another one good too. Javi says, I prayed for Genty and believing it worked. Love him to death. Okay. We had a couple things to talk about before we get started in the SEC preview, but I forget what they were now.
I'm down to get into the SEC because we got a lot.
We do this every time. We talk about a few things to discuss, and then once we get rolling, we forget and we just say, let's get in. No, there were a couple other things we wanted to talk about. There was something you said specifically we should bring up. How about this? You said there was a tight end that was playing in the NFL, and then he went back to college. What happened with this guy? I must have missed this.
Used to play for Ole Miss, played on the Browns, and now will play for LSU. There's been discussions of it, but he is officially the first NFL player to go back to a roster. No surprise, it's for Lane Kiffin. I don't think anyone's surprised that. Daquan Wright. Yep, thank you, KP Bet. I mean, listen, I love college football. I'm not that mad about like the transfer portal and the NIL just because I think college football is so fun to watch and talk about, and the best teams being good is fun for me. I'm having a great time, even though I think it's getting a little lawless, if that makes sense.
Sure.
This pushes it over the top. Pushes it over the top. This is fucking lawless. I'm not surprised it's Lane Kiffin's bum ass doing the first fucking dirty thing that he can do. No, I don't fuck with Lane Kiffin. You want to talk about a guy I'm going to be hate watching? I will be hate watching Lane Kiffin this season to the max of my abilities. But yeah, I hate it. It's the first thing I could say in college football where I'm like, okay, I officially fucking hate this. You were just practicing with a NFL team. I think if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be on the Madden game, and now he's going to play at LSU. Fuck that, man. That's whack as shit.
Yeah, I'm glad you're saying it. I'm not the guy that's saying it, that things are getting worse because it's unfortunate to accept that. But I agree. I still love football, and I've been a college over pro guy, even though I alternate. I don't know if you've been like this. Do you kind of alternate going back years? Like some years you're more into college, and then some years you're more into the NFL? Yeah. So this thing with college, I'm just trying to think of like where it went wrong, and I'm not trying to go down like I'm not going to make this a 60-minute segment, but like Snowman, I feel like you might be good with this. Anybody else with half a brain in here, you might recollect this. But if you had to pinpoint where when the college football and the NCAA started really fucking things up, and this started to become, like you said, good word, lawless, was it coaches taking other jobs and basically they would coach a team 2 years, they'd get them to a bowl game, and then before the bowl game, they would take another job. And then it was like, wait a minute, if a coach can do that, why can't a player do that? And then we basically said, you know what? Okay, players can do that. And then that's why we started doing the transfer portal. And like if a player wanted to leave a team, they could, because the whole argument was, well, if a coach wants to take a better opportunity, that's more money or better living situation for him and his family, whatever, why shouldn't a player? Rather than change some sort of restriction or requirement for a coach not to jump around and honor their contract and stuff like that. So this opened the floodgates, I think, for players to bounce around every single year. You could just go to a different school, blah, 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 whatever. That's a little bit different than the name, image, and likeness. Like, and I'm okay with that. I'm just talking about players going wherever they want. And what I'm getting at is, where did this stem from? Where you could go to the NFL, but if you had eligibility, you could say, nope, never mind. I don't want to do this. I tested this out. I want to go back to college. When the fuck did this happen? Because I feel like this does it feel like this year is the first year you've seen that?
Well, I just told you it's officially the first player to do that.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, because this isn't the first time I've seen a tweet like that though. I've seen a couple of them this year. Haven't you?
I've seen a couple of them talking about it, but this is the first official one I've seen.
So this is the first year that this can happen. And I'm just wondering, where did this stem from? Because at some point you just have to, it's like, we're not telling anybody in college football no
to anything.
To nothing. Yeah, exactly.
So I think college football started to go downhill when Notre Dame opted out of the Pop-Tart Bowl, personally.
No, you didn't. No, you don't. That's stupid.
I'm just kidding. That's very funny though. I have so many things to say. For me, sorry, Goots. I'm honestly, you and Jeff being on the same side, I actually like it. I'll be the enemy. I don't give a shit. Listen. For me, I feel like it started to get weird, and I'm not saying this correlates, but I want everyone's opinion. I feel like it started to get weird when there basically became two conferences, the SEC in the Big Ten and nothing else mattered. I don't know how many years Cal and Stanford have been in the ACC, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. That stands for the Atlantic Coast Conference. But as far as when it started to get weird and you could tell it was going in a strange direction, it's like, why Stanford and Cal in the fucking Atlantic Coast Conference? Why does it feel like the only two conferences that actually matter are the Big Ten and the SEC? And then I saw some really good comments. COVID creating all the extra years of eligibility. Man, I don't think being a 26-year-old quarterback in college is cool fucking at all. No. I don't think it's cool at all. I know I glazed Carson Beck a lot last year, so I'm being a little hypocritical. But man, it's kind of tough to support. Like, wait a second. So this team is starting Bryce Underwood, a true 5-star freshman, and this team is starting a guy 7 years older than him. Like, that doesn't really add up to me. But even with that being said, I still think through all of this, it's been a little messy, but college football has still been awesome. Like, it's been really cool since all of this happened, but I don't think anything's cool about this guy going from the Browns to LSU.
No, it's also, you would just think, like, even if you were him or these players, don't you feel like that's kind of a bad look?
Yeah, I tweeted that it's like the kid in college who still is dating high school girls.
Kid in college who's dating high school girls.
Yeah, it's like, you're in college, you should be hanging out with college girls,
right?
But you can't get any, so boom, high school girls.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't like it. That's a good point about the conferences, and it's unfortunate the Pac-12 kind of just started to deteriorate when teams in the Pac-12 started to get good. Like Washington started to get fun.
I know, it sucks. The Pac-10 was awesome.
I don't.
Awesome.
I think the answer to the question is money. Everything is about money. Well, no, but I know. But the SEC and Big Ten, they were the only schools that were mattering, I guess, because maybe their fan bases were just a little bit more passionate, and there was money there. Yeah. But I don't really understand. I guess I don't totally understand why the Big 12 had to kind of collapse too, because Texas and Oklahoma were in the Big 12. And
exactly. I don't know why we
Texas A&M. And to me, it's like, how do those schools not carry the Big 12? The Big 12 isn't making money, and the ACC, I guess it will never ever make sense to me that you're right. The Atlantic Coast Conference has teams on the Pacific Coast, and also like the Big 10 had 10 teams. Now I don't even know how many it has. What does it have? It has more.
Well, way more than 10, and we're gonna find that out later when we're gonna do a little schedule segment, and it's gonna be like, I fucking feels like there's 20 teams in the Big 10, dude.
I think it is. It's not like the private equity thing, but when you start to hear like private equity gets into something, they do that because there's an opportunity for profit and for money. And usually, I guess the stigma of private equity is they come in, all they want to do is maximize profits, so they just dilute the product as much as possible, make it as cheap and as shitty, but enough to where people want to still consume it, and then you're making as much money. But I don't know. I guess you kind of have to point the finger a little bit at like the Texas and Oklahomas for jumping ship, rather than being like, fuck it, we'll hunker down to the Big 12 and make it happen. But I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, honestly.
No, and let me just say, KP bets Cal and Stanford will be back in the Pac-12 in 2 years. You know when they say the earth is healing? Mm-hmm. When I see Cal and Stanford go back to the Pac-12, that's when I'll say college football is healing. We're back. We're moving in the right direction. Get Cal and Stanford out of the fucking ACC. Stop making teams travel from fucking Charlottesville to Palo Alto to play football games. It's ridiculous.
I read this long article. I think it was about. Written from Louisville, and it was talking about how schools are losing so much money in athletics, and they can't really. They're trying to compete, but they can't compete. And football and basketball, those schools bring in enough money to allow them to have these other sports that don't make any money. Yeah. But they're at such a disadvantage, you really start to wonder how much longer will these smaller schools even be able to really stick around. The gap is just, like the rich getting richer type thing. I don't really know. The one thing that I won't complain about, the name, image, and likeness. I know it's weird that like college kids are millionaires. Like that's kind of odd and strange. I couldn't even imagine being at a school and like the athletes walking around were making millions of dollars. Like that's so crazy to me. Like what house do they live in? What kind of cars do they drive? You know what I mean? Like what are they wearing? But I'm okay with that.
Is going to make $7 million this year.
It's crazy. I don't even know if there's a cap on it. There should be a cap on it. But the reason why that doesn't bother me is because it was always happening. And I'm not going to get into like the SEC, but let's be real, man. Like that shit was absolutely happening. All those fucking good players on one team for the Ohio State, everybody's guilty. The top teams were guilty. Some did it better than others. But now I like that all of a sudden you can start paying players, and you got Texas Tech's and Indiana's and all these other schools up there at the top. It's kind of fun.
Forking out the money.
Yeah, exactly. There's more parity because it's like everybody can do it. So there does need to be
I would argue there's not more parity, but I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Also, like the Big 12 or the Big 10 matchups of like, I don't know that I really like them yet. Like Oregon playing in Iowa. I don't know. Do you?
No,
I don't like that. That's just a weird dude. Oregon had to go to fucking Rutgers. They went to Rutgers. You imagine flying across the country? What a waste of time, money, and energy and jet fuel. For Oregon to have to go fly across the country, I beat the fucking brakes off of them, too.
Bro, I think Rutgers played at Washington. Imagine flying Ethan Kaliakmanis to fucking Washington.
No, I can't. I absolutely can't. All right, let's. Somebody asked me, by the way. What's up?
Yeah, go. No, you go first.
Well, I was gonna give you a little recap of my weekend.
Please do.
I hear a little bit of an echo. Nope, we're good. Jamie Lau asked me if I got banged up. Quantitative says, morning, gents in chat. Did we talk about Cleveland officially announcing Watson to QB1? Let's talk about this first because a few people have brought that up. We have not talked about it, QE. I did see that. I don't know that any of us are surprised. No. But I do have something to take away from this. Again, I wasn't that tapped in to all things sports this weekend, but I was on Twitter a little bit. I wasn't like glued to my phone or anything. And a couple things that I kept seeing that were pretty popular and making the news was Deshaun Watson's press conference where he was talking about the fans in Cleveland. Did you see this?
Yeah, of course. He said it's not based on performance.
Yeah, he's talking about So he's basically admitting that like the Browns fans, whether he plays well or not, like they're not fans of his. They don't like him. They don't really want him there. But yet he is there. And he's going to be their quarterback. Is this really weird? Because I get the team can't do anything because of his contract. You have no choice but to roll out with Deshaun Watson.
Correct.
But Deshaun Watson openly just said he knows that he's playing for a team whose fan base does not like him. Yeah. That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yes. It's absolutely insane. But I think Deshaun Watson needs to feel like, I don't know, some type of, the word is either remorse, shame, awareness, or accountability. And it's probably a combination of those four words. But like, you've made hundreds of millions of dollars to play for the Browns. You've been injured or you've had sexual assault charges or whatever it is. You haven't been able to give anywhere near the amount of money you've been paid. So when you go up in these press conferences and you start talking, for example, about the fans booing you, of course they're unhappy. So a little bit of fucking like remorse or accountability would be nice, but instead Deshaun Watson is a douchebag. Like he's like the number one douchebag. Everything he says comes out wrong, and I get it. How could you act like a normal person or pretend that you understand these people, this fan base whose average fucking annual salary is probably $40,000? You're at the podium with $2 million worth of jewelry on. You've made $200 million from the Cleveland Browns. How you can't even fake it? Like you can't even fake it. You're tone deaf. You're horrible to listen to.
He is bad.
He's rough. He's hard to listen to. Like, dude, I'm sorry. There's something wrong with trying to compare Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson in any way. Like, give me Shedeur Sanders. Give me the way Shedeur Sanders talks about football and life and just about everything as opposed to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is gone. He's gone. There's nothing there. I'm totally walking back my entire liking the Browns win total over, even though my whole reason was really about the young weapons in the defense. But Deshaun Watson has officially become impossible to root for. There's nobody rooting for Deshaun Watson.
So I agree with everything you're saying. This was the quote. Deshaun Watson, so this was 2 days ago. He said, "It has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. It's a disrespectful thing. Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles, and that same fan base cheered when I got hurt."
Yeah.
I mean, right. Like he's not making anything up, but he's saying the quiet part out loud. And then the Browns are saying, "Okay, you're going to be our QB1 going into this season." Even though this guy just came out 2 days ago and said the fan base despises me. I think this whole thing is a little weird, and I'm trying to think of what could be done to avoid it.
I know why it's happening. Because you can't give the Browns fans Shedeur Sanders unless Deshaun Watson sucks. Because if you start Shedeur Sanders, who isn't very good and probably won't be, and you feed him to the Wolves and he's awful, the fans will be pissed. But if Deshaun Watson starts, the guy you're paying $200 million and he sucks ass, the fans will suddenly, you'll be literally hearing them chant, "We want Shedeur, we want Shedeur," and then boom, he's in the game under a completely different pretense. Let's say Deshaun Watson is awful and they start the season 0-3. That they will want Shedeur Sanders, but nobody wants Shedeur Sanders week 1 as a Browns fan until you see what Deshaun Watson can do. Also, I see people in the chat saying shit versus poop, like the Browns are so fucked. Don't take anything I'm saying thinking there's a right or wrong answer here. The Browns are absolutely fucked, but I think in their head, that's what they're thinking. We got to put Deshaun Watson out there, let him fail. He most likely will, and then boom, put in Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, very, very well said. You absolutely nailed that. I do think that I think if you were to ask 100 Browns fans who they would want to be playing quarterback, the majority of them would say Shedeur Sanders, right?
I think the ball knowers would say we want to see what Deshaun Watson does out there.
Okay.
I got to see it. We're paying him so much money. He used to be incredible. Like Deshaun Watson used to be incredible, man.
Yeah,
like one of the coolest quarterbacks I've ever watched play football. He was so fucking cool. And if I'm a Browns fan and I'm a ball knower, I think I'd say give me a couple games of Deshaun Watson.
So okay, fair. I think it would be really close because I do think there's so many Browns fans that would say, "Fuck this guy, just give me Shedeur, even if he's bad." But I agree with you. You can't really feed him to the Wolves because if Shedeur goes out there in a week 1 and week 2 and he looks terrible, Browns fans are going to be so upset. Like the season's over before it started. Whereas the reality is this: Deshaun Watson, terrible person, is probably a better quarterback and gives your team a better chance to win.
Yeah.
Here is my question, and I'm ready to acknowledge that the comeback player of the year is a shit wager, and I get that. I wanted a piece of the Browns offense. That's the way I did that. I have $20 on it. Already a bad wager. Camus Money pointed out. I think BTL even echoed that, or Jovan echoed that. Let's just try to fast forward. Let's just try to fast forward because we do this. We're in the moment. Winning cures everything. Let's just say there's a world where the Browns start the year like 5-1.
Yeah.
Can you see in 6-7 weeks of football being played, Deshaun Watson not really saying anything bad in his press conference, playing good football, and the Browns winning? Can you see a world where anybody comes around and tries to convince themselves?
Absolutely, bro. Of course. You said it. You answered your question before you said what you said. Winning cures all, of course. The Cleveland Browns fan base that's so starving for wins, they start 5-1 and Deshaun Watson's balling out and looking a certain type of way. Browns fans will be cheering for him real quick. That's a guarantee.
That is, and Greg mentioned, or you mentioned it, but it would be funny if Deshaun Watson played well enough to where it's like the Browns have to decide if they want to offer him a new contract or anything. I really do not think that there is like I really think there's a greater than 10% chance that can happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you still like the Browns?
Well, don't you? Like you like them over 5.5 wins, don't you?
I like the roster, yeah.
I like the roster too.
Yeah.
I like the roster too. I don't know that I like Todd Monken overall as a head coach, but I like him as an offensive guy. And I'm just thinking, man, like the way Fannin, Judkins, love KC Concepcion, this defense is still nice. Jared Verse is awesome. Like they could be a team that's in it almost every week.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're significantly better than the other bottom of the NFL teams, like Cardinals or Dolphins.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. All right, I'll give you a quick recap of the weekend, by the way, because I would like to point a couple things out. Somebody asked if I got banged up. Jamie Lau, did you get banned? I don't know if Jamie Lau got banned. So went upstate Friday, Saturday, came back late last night. Do you drive at night?
I don't enjoy driving at night at all.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't.
So we were going to stay this morning. We were going to stream and then come back. My wife had to be home earlier for something work related. So then it became, do we wake up at 6 a.m. today and just push it? You know, I get home in time for the stream, etc., or just drive home last night. We ended up driving last night, and I got to tell you, I was not like nervous, but I don't drive at night that much anymore. Like my eyes have gotten a little bit bad. I can still see just fine and everything like that, but I just prefer to drive when it's daytime. So like even if I'm going home, like let's say we're at the beach, like we'll try to time it up. I freaking drove the entire 3-hour drive last night, and I had a Red Bull, and I locked the fuck in, and I crushed it. And I gotta tell you, I tried to tell myself like an athlete, like mentally, you turn the switch on. There is no choice but success for telling yourself that you don't think you could do something, you can do something. And this reminded me when it comes to betting on players, what we talk about all the time, the top 2 inches. So it was a very, very good reminder. Again, everything we're doing in life as we come to football season, it's about how does this transition into finding winning wagers. So it was a good reminder as I did it yesterday for college, for NFL. I want to find these coaches and I want to find these players that can turn it on mentally and be bad motherfuckers. Is that Deshaun Watson? I have no idea. But let me tell you something that I cannot do, and it is not mental. And no, I'm not talking about jet lag. There are no more 3-day benders at this stage in life. There are not.
It's hard, dude.
It's hard. 2 days. 2 days is all I can give you. I had back-to-back sleep scores of 61. I have a 2.5-hour sleep debt, and I didn't even necessarily go like overboard, didn't get blacked out, didn't get too fucked up, but it just takes a toll on you. And that third day, like when you're younger, you know, I remember going to bachelor parties, and it, like sometimes, you know, they're Friday to Sunday, but you go Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. And like you get home, you're banged up, but you bounce back. You just cannot do it anymore. Friday night, we got in a little bit later, but I told myself I was going to say, hey, I'm just going to take it easy. Steak, I couldn't believe it. What time do you think I stayed up till on Friday night?
The way you're talking, I have to say 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Oh, I nailed it.
Dude, you fucking yeah, you're on fire. Yeah. I stayed up till 3 a.m. I was telling my wife, I was telling everybody there, I was like, because they know I go to sleep, whatever. Everybody usually stays up later than me. I don't think I've stayed up till 3 a.m. in fucking years. But I didn't want no cocaine. I didn't, not even a cigarette actually on the first night. We were playing, we were just drinking, and I brought the rum and cokes. I brought rum. I brought 2 bottles of rum. Smashing hit. People, I'm telling you, I think rum might be making a comeback.
How about this? This football season, I'll have some rum.
Okay. All right.
I'll give it a try.
Not like a Bacardi though. I got to give you this good rum. It's called Diplomatico. It's what I like. But as I was checking,
I should start off with the good shit though, or should I just start off with some basic rum?
No, I think you should start off with a good one.
Okay, fine.
I think so. Yeah.
Good question from La Barbera. Is it clear or is it dark?
Great question. So Diplomatico is dark, the one that I get. Okay, not super fancy. It's $40 bottle at it's a cool bottle at the liquor store. As I was checking out, the lady at the liquor store, this was at noon on a Friday, and she's like, "Hey, right at the cash register, do you want to test this rum we're actually selling? It's like a special. It's Mexican rum. I never heard of Mexican rum before, so I didn't want to taste it because I was driving later, but I was just like, let me just smell it. It smelled great. So I got Pirates Love Rum. Yep, exactly. Rum's like a fun alcohol. You go through everything from drinking, and I know some people can stick to tequila. I still like to just change it up too much. So now I'm in my rum phase, which is the last phase. I've done gin. I've done vodka. I've done everything you can think of. Rum is the last one. I don't know what comes after rum. So I'm trying to hang on to this.
You said you've done gin.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think gin would have to be the next one because I've never had a gin era, so.
Gin was hard to do. I found the right gin, Monkey 47. When I got into it, it was when the Rams and the Patriots played in that boring ass Super Bowl.
Oh, hated that game. God, 13-3. Didn't fucking Jared Goff overthrow Brandon Cooks by like a mile?
Yeah. That was my I think I lost every single, I do a ton of prop bets every Super Bowl. I lost every single bet. I have an Excel spreadsheet. The only one that I hit was no touchdowns in the first half. It was like 25-1. So I cut my losses in half, but it was a miserable Super Bowl. Also, fun fact, now that I'm remembering it, Greg hosted the party, and Greg made me my first ever espresso martini. First ever.
Oh, wow.
He put a little espresso bean in it and everything and garnished it. But I brought a bottle of Monkey 47 and I was like, even my wife was like, make sure we bring that bottle back because it's good shit. We were into it.
Yeah.
Anyways, doesn't matter.
Keep
rum,
going. There's something that you're getting to about drinking in your 30s that I want to talk about.
Okay, so anyways, so we got the rum. I brought 5 limes. Got to have the limes in them in the rum and cokes. And steak. Here is the most essential part. Mexican Coke. Glass bottle Coke. You understand what I'm saying?
You are
that can
bougie
shit.
ass, dude.
I'm not bougie. I'm just saying
You
it
are
works.
bougie. You just
I'm
are.
not
You have
bougie.
to accept it. You're a bougie dude.
That's not bougie.
Top shelf rum with fucking Mexican.
It's $40 bottle of rum. It's $40
bottle of rum and a $7 bottle of fucking Coke. Give me that shit out of the gun.
Chat.
No, dude, it's okay to be bougie.
No, I know it is. I know it is. I know it is. You're right. You're right. I'm not going to say I'm not bougie. I like bougie things. I admit all the time I like to fly first class, sit in the good seats, and stay in nice hotels. I don't think Mexican Coke is bougie. I think Mexican Coke is sharp. How about that? It's not bougie.
I mean, I think it's delicious.
Well, it is delicious, but here's the thing. You know this because you're smart. When you drink, you cut out the sugar.
Yeah.
There is a big difference in the way that canned and plastic bottle soda with that fucking what is it called, Chad? It's not cane sugar because that's within the Mexican corn syrup. Like it's that fake bullshit. That hits you and fucks you up harder. The Mexican Coke does not. Exactly. Real sugar cane versus artificial sugar. Aha. So anyways, this is a smashing hit, steak. Everybody's like, ooh, what's that? I didn't realize. I thought if anything, I was being a little selfish, like showing up to a party. I brought a couple beers. I brought a couple Surfsides. Everybody loves Surfsides, obviously. But I brought my rum and Coke. Everybody's loving the rum and Coke. I'm making rum and Cokes left and right, whatever. I went into Friday night thinking, all right, we're going to have a couple drinks. Take it easy. Saturday is going to be my day. Up till 3 a.m. making rum and Cokes like I'm fucking Sean Paul out there, handing them out. And again, I felt good. I didn't feel too fucked up, but I woke up the next morning. I was like, ooh, I had a couple too many. You know what I mean? Probably could have had one less, whatever. But Saturday's the day. You're not going to compromise Saturday. Saturday's the day. The forecast was terrible. It said 80% chance of rain. We got this house, this like big cabin. It was like an old not abandoned, but old like lodge cabin. Old as shit, daddy long legs, spiders and everything, whatever. But we got this house specifically. It wasn't the bougiest house because it had a heated pool. And it could accommodate fucking 20 people, but it had a heated pool and it had a hot tub. So I was like, I'm not going to jeopardize this. So Saturday was another big day. Rum and Cokes all day. A couple of beers too, a couple of Pilsners, had a nice time. But then I woke up Sunday and I realized on Sunday, I was like, I tried to have another drink, hair of the dog. It was the only thing that gave me a little life.
Only thing.
The only
That's
thing.
what I wanted to talk about. When you're drinking in your 30s, you can't stop. And that's what's so hard.
Yep. It is.
That's
It's so
what's
fucking hard.
Let me ask you a question because I just obviously went to Savannah with my boys.
Sure.
And we did a day of golfing in the hot ass sun, but I drank a bunch of seltzers. And then it was like we went to a bar after golfing, had a fucking espresso martini, had a shot, kept going. But then we got back to the house and 2 of my friends who you know, Nick and Joey Dumps, which by the way, Joey Dumps can legitimately drink for 14 hours.
That's insane. He's a freak.
Nope, go to sleep, wake up, start drinking again, and then drink for 14 hours. And he's 36 years old. I mean, he literally turns into a straight drinking robot. Never stops. He's just giggling and drinking the entire day. But that's not what I was going to say. None of us do cocaine. That's first mentioning.
Yep.
But a couple of them were mentioning Adderall. And I don't like anything like that. The only thing that can save me, while drinking is not stopping. No, not smoking, nothing. It literally is, we were home from golf. We were sitting at the couch at the Airbnb, and Joey Dumps literally said, hey, everybody's starting to like lag off. I'm going to the liquor store. He comes back with like a giant bottle of tequila, bunch of Surfsides, and beer pong to make sure everybody kept drinking. And if that didn't happen, I probably would have been in for the night. But instead, we kept drinking, played beer pong for two hours, got drunk as shit, and then went out and kept drinking. Stopping is the death, dude. Even when you wake up in the morning and you're hungover, it sucks. But you have to literally say, like, if I'm hanging out with my friends for a whole other day drinking, I might as well start now because the more time I spend sober and hungover, it's absolutely awful.
You are correct. And I know this because Saturday, I think I hit a wall at like 7 o'clock, like 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And I took a nap. I'm a 40-minute napper. I took a 44-minute nap and I was like, all right, we're hanging out, blah, blah, blah. and I made myself another drink. I woke up and I could hang out. Like the nap felt good, but I could not restart the engine of drinking. Like you just have to keep going and power through and not shut down. Shutting down though is so tempting. That's the problem.
Yeah.
After a couple hours, the cigarettes gave me a little bit of life, but what really threw me off, I always say this, I'm like, I know now, like, don't go too hard on the first night. I could not believe I was up till 3 a.m. drinking. I just couldn't. But
yeah, that's crazy.
I really do think rum gives me a fun, some people like avoid certain liquors because it gives them a bad drunk or they're angry or something. Rum is like my fun drunk, which obviously I'm going to stick with, but like, I couldn't believe it. I might also be my staying up late drunk.
I'm going to try it this football season. Also, one more thing to say, and then we should go talk SEC.
Yeah.
When we got to the bar in Savannah, one of my friends was super excited that they had this peanut butter tequila.
Oh, God.
Bro. Oof. We drank a lot of it. Let me just tell you right now. Not for me, dude. Absolutely not for me. I may never drink it again. And then when I woke up the next day, I was like, yeah, nah, that's never happening again, ever.
No, I have my cousin Crocodile Kyle, who is he's a great mechanic in Central Florida, great guy, but he's a little redneck. And when we'd be at the pool, he would love peanut butter whiskey. It's called Screwball.
Yeah. Peanut butter whiskey almost makes more sense, but still.
Sure. Yeah, peanut butter tequila is disgusting, but he would sip on that, and then he would drink Crown Apple. You ever had Crown Apple?
Yeah, I have, of course.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, I hate sweet shit, so.
Oh God, I know. Just drink that on ice. I'm like, oh my God. My problem is I have two problems when I drink. I like to drink different things. I cannot stick to one thing. It's always been my downfall. Like I like a Pilsner and then I like an IPA and then I want a fucking margarita and then I want a whiskey Coke. Like that is a recipe for disaster every single time. And I just can't do that. The other thing is I like mixers. I like mixers. There is a new canned drink, by the way. My friend brought this. It's called Viva. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's seltzery tequila with coconut water. It is delicious. What did Reen say? Crown Apple and Sprite is top tier. Oh,
too much sugar. I think you're young, Reen. You'll know.
Yeah.
The sugar starts to fuck you.
Anyways, yeah, let's get to it. But so I'm banged up, and also the first night, like last night I got a 73 sleep score. I slept like 7 hours. Back-to-back nights are just brutal. I'm so far from 100% right now. It takes 36 to 48 hours to start to bounce back, even from just a 2-day bender. But I guess what I'm saying is this, and I'll wrap it up. We've been doing this once a year, this like camping thing with my wife's friends and bachelor parties, even my bachelor party. I don't know if you remember this, but remember we went out earlier and we stayed at the suite at the Encore, that fucking badass suite. But like even Greg's, when I go somewhere, I want to get there like a night earlier. Like, what are you talking about? We're only doing Friday to Sunday. Let's go Thursday. Don't we want to have a longer time? I've realized I'm a 2-night guy. I'm a 2-night guy.
You were talking like, oh, let's go chill. Like we'll be chill on the first night, and we weren't chill. That was our problem. You're like, let's go a day early to be chill. And then I'm pretty sure that first night of your bachelor party, I gambled till like 5 a.m.
Yeah. There was like a Seahawks. Remember there was a Seahawks game?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. W Encore my work. Yeah, that was a great sweep, by the way. All right. We do need to finish talking SEC.
Sure.
And then I think that's it for the day.
So do you want to give long drawn out opinions, or do you want to try to rip through it and do the schedule thing we discussed that we were going to do later, obviously off stream for the Big Ten? Do you want to try to do that here with the SEC, or do you want to just dive fully into teams?
How about this? Let's experiment. I think it's probably better if we do the schedule a little bit more like one-on-one, but we've done it on stream and it's been just fine. We just have to really lock in.
Yeah.
I'll run through these teams super quickly. Let's talk about their win total. Let's go through the schedule, see where the wins and losses are. We did not do A&M. Maybe we can start there. I got to take a piss. So let's take a quick pee break, and we'll be right back after these words, and we're going to power through.
All right, bye.
The SEC preview.
Snowflakes.
Jack.
Matt Gauthier, any thoughts on Philo announces Gators QB? It was always going to be him. It was always him. That's why Buster Faulkner is brought over, because he's here. They were never going to bring over Georgia Tech's OC and QB and then not start him, in my opinion, unless he looked absolute dog shit. That's who I wanted, obviously.
Xander 313 with a new sub, 51 months. Nope, 52. Gav Israel been sub for 15 months. P. Ruck with a 15 stream streak. Logan Carlson 25 months. Are we talking college ball today by chance? Oh, I think that was an hour ago. Sorry. Toasty, Steak, when you and Jeff hang out in person, do you call him Jeff? Yes. Or Degen. Call me Degen.
It's funny. It took a really long time, but I literally don't. I do not call him by his real name anymore, ever.
No, it's all Degen. All right.
But my family does, and that's weird. Like when they talk about me streaming with you, they do it.
Yeah. Let's talk the it's called the big ones. Let's talk the big ones, and let's talk about the top talent in the SEC. Looking at this magazine, Texas has 4 of the top NFL talent in the top 10 of the SEC. Obviously, Arch Manning, Colin Simmons is an edge rusher, Cam Coleman, and Ryan Coleman will. Or no. Who the fuck is that? Trevor Gooseby, South Carolina, Dylan Stewart, a great defensive end.
Yep.
Alabama's got a couple of guys as well, Xavier Brown and another dude on defense. All right. Let's by request, let's start with Texas A&M. And Chad, if you're just tuning in, 2 weeks ago with Jovan, we did start with the SEC. We did Ole Miss, we did Florida, we did Texas. I'm sorry, was there another one, Steak? I forgot.
I really don't think so, but if we come across it, we'll know right away if we talked about a team for another time.
Okay. No, I call him Steak. Steak Up is funny. Yeah. All right. Jeff is providing an audio version of this magazine. Listen, I'm not going to read it word for word. There's so much in here I don't read, fuck faces. You don't know about
the audio version of this magazine. It sounds kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah, it does. It does. Everybody just likes to fucking bitch. All right, let me tell you about Texas A&M. 11-2 last year, 7-1 in the SEC. Kyle Field holds 102,733 people. That's fucking crazy. Mike Elko is there. He's been there 2 years, 19-7 as a head coach there. He came from Notre Dame. Sharp dude. New offensive coordinator, I believe, Holman Wiggins. No idea who that guy is. 4 offensive starters, 5 defensive starters coming back. Top newcomer is wide receiver Isaiah Horton. He's one of the big offseason wins was landing a top-rated wide receiver from the transfer portal. He came over from Clemson. Emerging star, edge, Anto Saka, a big portal addition. This guy came from Northwestern. Interesting. Okay, slamming the portal. Marcel Reed, most valuable player. Are you or are you not a Marcel Reed guy is the question we're going to ask everybody in the chat here. They've got their center coming back. Mario Craver, good wide receiver here. He was our last year. He's good. Ruben Owens is the running back. I don't know who that is. New guy. 5 defensive starters, as we mentioned. Here's a couple of questions. How will A&M look in the first year of this new offensive coordinator? Can the Aggies overcome offensive line turnover? And can A&M shore up its run defense? All right, Steak. What's the win totals here for this Texas A&M team? Texas A&M team, who, if you don't remember, was 11-0 last year, lost to Texas week 12. And then bounced by Miami in the first round of the college football playoff 10-3.
Yeah, they were absolutely miserable in that playoff game. Their win total is 8.5. The over is plus 118. They are plus 1,100 to win the SEC championship game, which is 7th best odds. Let's go over the schedule, see how we like that pace. But let me just say this. This is not going to make sense. We say a lot of shit on here that doesn't make sense. But for me right now, I'm the meme of the kid in the middle of the fork in the road deciding which way to go. And it's Oklahoma with John Mateer or Texas A&M with Marcel Reed. And I'm going to be honest. I almost think Marcel Reed is getting hated on more than John Mateer. And I get why. I'm not really a Marcel Reed guy, but 8.5 wins? 8.5 wins, man. Let's go over the schedule, but there's part of me that likes Texas A&M at 8.5.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Also, sorry to cut you off. Kind of like Mike Elko, his quote about how do you motivate your team, and he said, "I show him the trophy cabinet and it's empty."
Yeah,
that is a wonderful quote for a coach at Texas A&M. I couldn't think of a better one. I love it so much.
He's a good coach. I agree with you. Rude Bets for the raid party of 122. We appreciate you. Big Dill for the sub. Unks for the win. We do have a hype train that started as well. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Rude Bets parlay went 2 out of 3 yesterday. The one that missed was Joe Adele, and he doubled.
He's gonna hit a home run today.
Pain. Joe Adele's probably gonna homer. You know what I'm gonna ask? Somebody from Rude Bets, please drop the parlay.
Yeah. I'll give you this. I have a fork in the road as well with this team, and the right way, the positive way, is a meme of Mike Elko. The wrong way and the negative way is with Marcel Reed. I'm not a Marcel Reed guy.
Okay.
8.5 is pretty low. This schedule must be tough. You want to go through Texas A&M schedule? Let's do it.
And here, let's try to do a really good job. I was going to say this off air, but let's try to do a really good job remembering that we said this team would win in this game. So when we go to the next schedule, I'm not saying, you get what I'm saying?
Oh, I know, because you've been guilty of that like a motherfucker.
I'm not saying it's you. I'm just saying we gotta remember who we said B2 when we go to the next team.
Okay, let's do our best to do that. This is where having a producer or a notes boy would help.
Yeah.
All right.
Want to be a notes boy.
Stat boy. Stat man? Notes man. I don't know.
Man. Note man is way better.
All right, here we go. The 2026 schedule for Texas A&M. Home against Missouri State. That's going to be 1-0.
Okay.
Home against Arizona State. That's a fun game.
Fun, but 2-0.
Fun, but 2-0. Okay. Home against Kentucky.
Not fun, but 3-0.
Not fun, but 3-0. I agree. By the way, I think people are sleeping on Kentucky. I can't wait to talk about them. Week 4. Wow, this is not an easy schedule right out of the gate. Week 4 on the road against LSU.
Yeah, so I'm going to call that a win. Oh my God, I'm not doing this.
I'm just
not
saying.
doing this with you Lane Kiffin fucks.
Fine.
Is that crazy that I think Texas A&M could beat LSU?
No, it's not that crazy. I wonder what the spread's going to be in that game.
Also,
But
you can give different answers. Like for me, it sounds like I'm at 4-0 and you're at 3-1, right?
Well, let's think about this for a second. Didn't Texas A&M play at LSU last year?
No.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay, so they play. I vividly remember that game. I think it was close in the first half, and then A&M and Marcel Reed dragged their nuts all over Brian Kelly.
Completely different. I couldn't even begin to care what happened 2 years ago with this team.
Well, what I was going to say is they played last year in LSU. Dude, that really felt like last year, man.
Oh, it was last year. Okay, I didn't.
But that's so weird. You're supposed to rotate.
Oh yeah, that makes me care even less because LSU was a corpse last year.
Well, I was going to say revenge game, but there's no revenge. Everybody hurt. Okay.
Sounds like you're at 3-1. Is that
no?
fair?
Fuck it. I'm at 4-0. I'm at 4-0.
Okay.
Let's go 4-0 through the month of September. No days off, no weeks off. Back home to face Arkansas.
5-0.
On the road against Missouri.
6-0.
Back home against the mighty powerful Citadel.
7-0.
On the road, again, no bye weeks up until this point. On the road, week 8 at Alabama.
They have a bye week and it's called Citadel. 7-1. I'll give them a loss to Alabama.
Oh, that's good. You give them a loss at Alabama. Okay, then a bye week. Back on the road against South Carolina.
8-1. Tough though.
Well, home. Listen to this, how they close out the year. These are the last 3 games.
It's got to be insane.
Home, Tennessee.
Okay. 9-1.
You have an 8.5 win Texas A&M team being 9-1.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Well, these are their last 2 games because they're not easy. After you beat Tennessee at home, week 11, you're on the road in Oklahoma.
So you're on the road in Oklahoma. I'll give you a loss.
And then the grand finale, home against Texas.
In Texas A&M?
In Texas A&M. So 10-2.
10-2 for the Texas A&M Aggies.
Well, now I have to ask you this. You made it seem like they were going to get to 10 wins rather easily. So do you feel, hold on. That's a good question. So do you feel that a 11-1 team last year in the regular season, losing against Miami by 1 score, who went to the national championship with an 8.5 win total is a little short. Do you think Vegas knows something?
No, I think nobody likes Texas A&M, and they would be the #1 regression candidate in all of college football if you asked college football fans.
So then if you're going to fade Texas A&M, here's going to be your 4 losses, right? You're going to lose to Texas. You're going to lose at Alabama. You're going to lose at LSU, and then you're going to lose to Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's exactly right.
Which,
to be clear, would be considered a horrible year for Texas A&M.
I think you cannot sleep on Arizona State and Kentucky, those 2 games before going to LSU. Either Kenny Dillingham or Will Stein coming into Texas A&M, one of them's going to bite.
Okay. I think that was pretty good tempo and pace, honestly.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it again. Actually, can we talk about Kentucky? I have an opinion on Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah, go right to Kentucky. Is this the team with... I ask this every time. Is this Kenny Minchie?
This is Kenny Minchie.
Kenny Minchie, Will Stein, and a new DC, right? Or new everything.
Jay Bateman's the defensive coordinator. Joe Sloan's the offensive coordinator. And yes, Will Stein is the new head coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Goots, like Krabs would say, Goots, if you're around, I'd like to know if you're around. Goots, if you claim to be a Notre Dame fan.
If you're local.
If you're local. Goots, if you're around, if you're local. Is anybody familiar with Kenny Minchie? Because I got news for you. If you're not, you're going to be. Kenny Minchie is a quarterback. How do I know Kenny Minchie's a quarterback? Because I get in the fucking lab in the offseason and I watch some spring ball. And you guys forget, you all forget, CJ Carr is out here, the favorite to be the Heisman. Notre Dame's out here, the favorite to win the championship, co-favorite, whatever, second favorite, led by CJ Carr. Do you remember there was a quarterback battle going into week 1 against Miami between CJ Carr and Kenny Minchie? You might, a lot of people don't. And as a Notre Dame fan, I did a little bit of research, a little bit of digging into said battle. And let me tell you, Kenny Minchie can play ball. Kenny Minchie can also run. And one of the biggest reasons Notre Dame almost started Kenny Minchie over CJ Carr is because they were worried about that pass rush and a younger offensive line on the road, and they wanted to go with Kenny Minchie, who was more mobile and potentially extend plays and get out of the pocket. I am telling you right now, do not sleep on Kenny Minchie, and certainly don't sleep on Kenny Minchie with a guy like Will Stein. Will Stein was the offensive coordinator in Oregon.
Yes.
Y'all are going to get ready. Little shoot 'em up. I'm taking notes. Panday, I'm taking notes. Taking notes. You're all going to get ready to learn.
You have a pretty good read on Notre Dame backup quarterbacks. You were definitely solid about Steve Angeli until
Sure
he got
fucking
hurt.
was. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
You're welcome for bringing it up. That's why I won't give you too much pushback. I like Will Stein. I think he's a great hire. I don't think it comes together in year 1 with any type of crazy success. With that being said, the over-under is 4.5.
Correct. Exactly.
So let's rip through the schedule. How about this? You should lead the way on this, like I led the way on.
Then why don't you tell me the teams?
Yep, exactly. I'm pulling it up right now.
Before we do this, hold on. Before we do this, let's just get a little bit more familiar with this team. Hold on. Real quick.
Good idea.
If Indiana can win a national championship in football, why can't its historic border rival and fellow traditional pigskin afterthought build a playoff contender? That's the argument Stein and others have made since they arrived in Lexington. That's a high bar for year 1, but a return to a bowl and a team that features a more exciting product than Stoops was known for would give it hope that could happen soon. I watched this Kentucky team last year. Stoops was fucking pathetic. He was an awful head coach. They were 2-6 in the SEC last year, 5-7 overall. Their last 2 games of the season, they lost at Vanderbilt 45-17, and they got shut out to Louisville 41-0. This is after ripping off 3 straight wins at Auburn, Florida, but then Tennessee Tech. So, this team didn't really beat anybody worth a shit other than your Gators. Sorry, Steak. But let's get into
Gators weren't worth a shit last year either.
That's a very good point. Okay. So we have a 4.5 win total. Let's talk about it.
4.5 win total, a little juicy to the over. So keep that in mind as you go through this. I think you might want 6 wins to feel confident.
Sure.
At home against Youngstown State.
That's going to be 1-0.
All right. At home against Alabama.
Okay, I'm not going to be ridiculous here. I'm not going to tell you that they're going to beat Alabama. That's going to be 1-1.
All right, perfect. At Texas A&M.
they're going to be 1-2. But I do just want to say something quickly. We did see Alabama go on the road early last year and lose.
Hey, you're allowed to predict upsets, bro. Nobody wants to hear you say straight chalk. You're allowed to predict upsets.
I'm curious to what the spread will be in that game. Maybe Alabama minus like 17 or something. I don't know if that's a little too steep,
No, I
but
think that's pretty close, probably.
I'm going to be on Kentucky with the points of that game. They might not win, but the bar with a new quarterback on the road in SEC week 2, I'm going to be looking at the Wildcats in week 2. Just wanted to mention that.
I will tell you when we get to the bye week. So every week I go to, just know we are not at the bye week yet. Wow, plus 11 versus Alabama.
Fuck it. Give me Kentucky beating Alabama week 2. 2-1 after the Texas A&M.
2-1 after the Texas A&M game.
Right.
At home against South Alabama.
3-1 Kentucky.
Still no bye week at South Carolina.
Shane Beamer, Lenore Sellers, or Will Stein and Kenny Minchie. You know what? What?
Nope, go ahead. This is your show.
Well, I like that Kentucky had already gone on the road to a place like College Station. They're going to experience that intense atmosphere. They're probably going to get their ass kicked. I'd be curious to know where in the season that game is for South Carolina. But you know what? I'm going to say Kentucky's going to get that win.
Okay, so we will be, what will you be, 4-1?
4-1.
At home against LSU.
Loss.
4-2. At Oklahoma.
Kenny Minchie against the Brett Venables defense and Will Stein in year 1. As much as I like the guy, not going to happen. We'll give him 4-3.
4-3. At home against Kentucky. Note, still no bye week. I'm sorry, at home against Vanderbilt. Still no bye week.
5-3. There you go.
5-3. Now we have a bye week, and then after the bye week, we go to play at Tennessee.
You know? Josh Heupel's still going to be the coach of Tennessee when this game is played?
Is you making some kind of prediction?
I mean,
they were in the college football playoff 2 years ago. I think he'll be okay.
You think if Tennessee has a rough year this year that Heupel's not on the hot seat?
Depends how rough. He has a freshman quarterback, and it's going to be tough.
He being in the college football playoff 2 years ago, getting your shit kicked into Ohio State means you get an exemption 2 years later.
With a true freshman quarterback, potentially.
All right, you know what? I'll give Tennessee the win here, 5-4.
All right, at home against Florida.
That one concerns me a little bit. Who's
John
Florida?
Sumrall will have problems year 1 if he loses to Kentucky. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Sumrall against Stein. Is this the last home game for Kentucky?
No. I'm not going to tell you, though, because this can't affect you need to go game by game here. You're 5-4.
I feel like Florida usually beats Kentucky in Kentucky. Or
Okay,
is it the opposite way?
No. I mean, Florida mostly usually beats Kentucky, but they've had a couple wins recently.
Yeah, I'll give Florida the win there, 5-5.
5-5 at Missouri.
Oh, I think they can win that game.
Okay, 6-5 at home. Final game of the year at Louisville. I mean, at home against Louisville.
You're not doing a good job with the ads. You're throwing me off like 4 times now.
At home against Louisville.
You said they're at Kentucky, playing Kentucky.
Sorry.
Well, Louisville's going to be really good this year, but a massive revenge spot. Well, no, it's not really a revenge. Nobody on this team remembers that. I'll give Louisville the win. Is that a 6-6 Kentucky team?
6-6. 6-6. Sounds like you like the Kentucky win total over.
What is everybody saying? What this dude, Kentucky over Missouri? Why is that so crazy?
Hey, listen, actually, I'm going to have your back with the chat. It's okay to predict upsets. Upsets happen, chat. We can't just go through the schedule and pick. Like, I give him some fucking respect picking upsets. Good job. I don't think they're going to happen. Right. I don't think Kentucky's. I really, after seeing that, don't really like Kentucky at all. But I do respect that you win them over Alabama. Spread seems a little short, by the way. 11 is not what I would have guessed.
I know.
It's a good way to put it, DC Bets. I'm with you.
Well, the thing about that Alabama game is this. Like, I understand when you just talk about the schools and the brands, you're like, oh, no way Alabama can lose. But they have a new quarterback starting, and we just saw what the board did with a new quarterback on the road against FSU. Like, why Kentucky? In Kentucky, they're that place is gonna be rocking.
Okay, that was really good tempo and pace. We're gonna move on to the next team. I kind of regret telling the chat I was homeschooled for a while because they're using it as a weapon against me when I mess up. And so I kind of regret that.
Listen, I'm very critical of you, but I'm also your biggest fan. This is good. You need some jabs. I get way too many jabs. You need a couple jabs. You just got to take it.
I know how you feel. I'll tell you, I've got a little experience into the life of Jeff because when Greg comes on, everybody loves Greg. I had fucking Sandy Plashkeys on Ramble the other day saying, Greg is by far my favorite fake sharp. He said that, by the way. And I said, oh, did Greg come on Owner's Box fucking every week for fucking 2 years? Sick. So I got a little bit of the feeling of what it's like to be Jeff Sunday. Not that fun. Next team.
I'm so happy to hear you say that.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear you say that. Yeah, I mean, that was a lot.
Yeah.
Motherfucker said Greg is his favorite fake sharp. Give me a
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah.
Let's go to Tennessee. Let's talk about Tennessee. Everybody.
I'd love to. I'd love to. I need to hear the magazine about Tennessee. Fuck what the chat says.
Okay. We've got Josh Heupel coming in 5 years. He's been there 45-20. Jim Knowles is defensive coordinator. I don't know if that's new. That sounds new. Jim Knowles. He's bounced around quite a bit. Remember, he was, I think he went to Penn State. We thought that was going to work after leaving Ohio State. So
but
now he's in Tennessee.
This year, too. Okay, go ahead. You read.
He came from Oklahoma State, I think, right? This guy was like a real hot commodity for defensive coordinators, but maybe he's washed. I don't know. Anyways, this is a team that was 8-5 last year, 4-4 in the SEC. They are returning 6 offensive starters and 3 defensive starters. Wow, that's a lot in this day and age. Something to keep in mind of. And again, I just talked about it. I think Heupel, this is a big year for him. So, overview. After the Vols made their first college football playoff appearance, they took a step back last season by going 8-5 and failing to beat an FBS team with a winning record. Yikes! They now face a difficult schedule and might have some growing pains with a young quarterback. Top newcomer is a defensive tackle from Penn State, Xavier Gilliam. Oh, yeah. One of the transfers who followed Knowles to Tennessee. Okay, well, there you go. That's kind of important. Tennessee last season, they let's see. I mean, I'm trying to look at some of their losses. They got their ass kicked to Alabama 37-20. They got their ass kicked to Vanderbilt at the end of the year. But Steak, I do have to point this out. Remember that game against Georgia at home early in the year? That was a fun game. They lost 44-41. That was a bit of a shootout. And then they did only lose to Oklahoma 33-27. So I'm not pointing out like moral victories and respectable losses necessarily.
Was Joey Aguilar their quarterback last year?
Yeah, good memory.
I felt like he was better than expected, but also you got to remember how this started for Tennessee. They lost Nico Iamaleava, you say whatever you want about him. He did lead him to the playoff, and people were excited about him coming back. And then the money thing happened with his dad, and it felt like it happened really late in the year. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you could sort of a little bit like Tennessee has an excuse, I think, for last year, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not ready to shit on. I'm not necessarily out here trying to shit on Tennessee by any means, but Heupel, I'm not the biggest Heupel guy. But you know what? I'll say this. You might even agree. Maybe you won't because you're a Gators fan. I want Tennessee to be good at football.
If I took out my Gator fandom, I could easily see what you're saying. Like, we're going to go to Rocky Top this year. We're going to see it for the first time. It's one of those ones that everybody glazes, and I'm with you. I understand why you feel that way. There's if I had to make a top 5 list of teams I want to come back, exclude the Gators because I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. Tennessee's on that list every time, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like the colors. I like the checkered end zone. I like the entrance. I like Rocky Top. And for whatever reason, when Tennessee falls flat and just has an average football team, it's such a downer. Yeah, I think Tennessee would be fun for college football if they're good and relevant. So I am pulling for them. Offensively, last year, Steak, they're the 6th best scoring offense, averaging almost 40 points a game.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That Joey Aguilar came in and did that.
466 yards a game. That was 7th. They're the 6th best passing offense. Their problem was the defense. 91st scoring. They allowed 29 points per game. 91st in yards. 397 yards per game. And if you remember, they beat up Syracuse 45-26. That was Steve Angeli's first game. He was kind of cooking them boys. You know what I mean? He had him going up and down the field towards the end, sweating a little bit. You couldn't pull the starters. So, all right, let's go to. I'll do this schedule. What is the win total for Tennessee?
7.5. The over is -120. I don't think anybody cares what they are to win the SEC, but no. I'll tell you anyways. They are plus 1,800. Better odds than Florida, Missouri, Auburn, and South Carolina. They're getting respect a little bit.
Okay. All right, might be something there. Sorry, let me one more time because now I'm thinking of what they were to win the SEC. 7.5 is the win total.
Yep.
Got it. All right, here we go. Week 1, you do this one. Furman, home.
1-0.
At Georgia Tech, week 2.
2-0.
Home against Kennesaw State.
3-0.
Home against Texas.
3-1.
No days off, no weeks off. Home against Auburn.
4-1.
On the road at Arkansas.
5-1.
Home against Alabama.
Home against Alabama. 5-2.
At South Carolina.
See, this is one of those ones where I have South Carolina losing to everyone in games like this, but I actually like South Carolina, so I'm going to go 5-3 and say they lose this game.
I think when we do this too, it wouldn't hurt if you gave a little bit of a reason of like why you think the team will win or lose in that spot.
Okay, I would take Lenora Sellers at home against a freshman quarterback, I think, in that situation.
Okay.
I don't know anything about the guy. I'm not a hater, but in that situation, if it was in Tennessee, maybe I would lean Tennessee, but at home, I have to take South Carolina.
So we have them through week 8. You have losses 5-3. All right. This is so after South Carolina, they have a bye, and then they have 4 more games in November. This is who they are. Home against Kentucky.
Yeah. Did you have that as a win on yours for Kentucky?
I had it as a win for Tennessee. I gave it a
6-3.
Okay. At Texas A&M.
6-4 at Texas A&M. That's probably the first game I can say confidently. I don't think Tennessee has a chance in that late.
So to get over the 7.5 win total, you got to win these next 2 games. Home against LSU, then at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, so unfortunately, after going over the schedule, I can't buy into Tennessee like I originally thought I was going to. They're going to lose to LSU. They're going to beat Vanderbilt. They'll finish 7-5. I don't know. I don't know what the expectations are when you start a freshman quarterback. 7-5 does feel disappointing, but man, I don't know how they're getting over that win total.
And also, just to point out, so they do. I should have probably done this before you got started. That's my bad. As I mentioned, they have some starters coming back, but they have their running back, Deshaun Bishop, and both wide receivers back, Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley, and they have 3 offensive linemen coming back: the left guard, center, and right guard. So the interior offensive line's returning. That's, I think, pretty helpful. The quarterback is a freshman, 6'6", 200 pounds, George McIntyre.
No, it's Faison. Faison's starting. I think they just named that while we were streaming. So do I have that wrong then, chat? Is Faison not a freshman? I thought he was the freshman.
I don't know.
KP Betts also said that they've already lost 2 defensive starters, Tennessee.
Ooh.
He's a true freshman. Yeah, okay, got it. So they both are.
Ooh. Tell you what.
Yeah, this to me this year seems like for Tennessee is getting that kid experience, competing in games, but I don't feel like the expectation can be too high for Tennessee this year.
Okay. All right. Fine. We're gonna go to Oklahoma. I feel like Oklahoma will be a fun one. Let's do this rapid fire. Chad, if you remember, through 5 weeks, Oklahoma was 5-0 last season, and I believe John Mateer was the favorite to be the Heisman winner. Forget what he got down to, but I was buying into it. I didn't know much about Mateer going in. You and I were Oklahoma haters, mostly because of Brett Venables. And I got to tell you, when I watched Mateer, I was like, holy shit, this guy looks like a college quarterback. Can run, plays his ass off, has a bit of an arm, but things took a turn, and Oklahoma ended the season 10-3. They were 6-2 in the SEC, but they ended up losing against Texas. They lost to Ole Miss, and then they just had some close, ugly games. 23-21 at Bama, which was a pretty gritty win. 17-6 Missouri, 17-13 LSU, and then they lost in the first round of the college football playoff, hosting Alabama, which was probably one of my better reads in the college football season because. What was it? I became a Ty Simpson guy, I think, at the very end. But I did not like Alabama getting in that playoff. Scumbag losers. Once again, Oklahoma's schedule is treacherous. In the first 5 games of the season, the Sooners hit the road to Michigan and Georgia and then meet with Texas and Dallas. After that, they also visit Florida and Missouri and have November home games against Texas A&M and Ole Miss. Good Lord. Top newcomer, wide receiver Trell Harris from Virginia. Emerging star, defensive end Taylor Wine. In his first season as a true contributor, he was the most productive player in the pass rush that led to 3.5 sacks per game. MVP is John Mateer. The Sooners will go as far as Mateer takes them. Okay. They are returning 5 offensive and 6 defensive starters. That's pretty big. It's pretty big. Their ranks last year, offensively not good. 112th rushing offense in the country, 90th in total yards, 78th in scoring, but their defense was excellent. Third best rushing defense, 77 yards per game. Seventh best scoring, allowed 15 points per game. 272 total yards per game. That was 6. So it's basically what you'd expect. Really, really good defense. Pretty average offense. But really comes down to Steak. What do you think about Mateer in year 2, I guess? He's a senior quarterback, so he's been in college and maybe even in the system for a couple years. He had 11 interceptions and 14 touchdowns last year and 2,800 yards. So it's really not that great. Let's talk about the win total, and then let's go through the schedule.
Okay, got it. So they are plus 850 to win the SEC. That's definitely some respect. And their win total is 8.5. The over is plus 132. Thank you, Hefe.
8.5 over.
Yeah. You want me to give my opinion real quick before we go through the schedule?
Of course I do. Yeah, I always do.
So I'm a Brent Venables hater. I think I even took him first coach to be fired. I am losing the battle with Brent Venables. And the reason I'm losing the battle is because I didn't think he was going to be able to bring his defensive style of football to a school like Oklahoma, known for pretty much just putting up points and not playing any defense. And I'm 100% wrong about that because they have one of the best defenses in the country. Brent Venables has brought that. The reason I'm not going to buy into Oklahoma is because not only am I a Brent Venables hater, I'm also a John Mateer hater. And I feel like I somewhat won that battle last year because he was the Heisman favorite. And I came on this exact show and said, John Mateer being the fucking Heisman favorite when he's as inaccurate as he is as a quarterback. And yes, Lil shoot him up. I'm seeing it. Everybody's giving him the excuse of being hurt, and that is totally fine. We will see how that goes. I am out on John Mateer. You're going to call me crazy. Everyone's going to call me crazy. I'm more in on Marcel Reed and Texas A&M than I am in on Oklahoma and John Mateer. So I don't think I'll be finding 9 wins on this schedule. I'm an Oklahoma hater. I'm going to stick to it for one more year. I don't think John Mateer is that guy who you need to make a big throw in a big game, which Oklahoma's going to have a lot of them. He's not going to outduel a guy like Trinidad Chambliss. So we'll see. We'll see. But for me, I can tell you right now, I don't like Oklahoma.
Okay. Sorry, he might not make the big throw in the big game, but he can make a big play. Could be with his feet. I felt like he did that at Alabama, which was pretty impressive. But I get what you're saying. I'm with you. We align on the Brent Venables thing. But I will say this. That defense, I want to say maybe it was the game against Michigan. I mean, it was multiple games. It wasn't just one. But that defense probably hit as hard as any college football defense that I saw last year. And I think they were hitting Michigan. This is what I love. They hit them so hard that the paint was coming off of the helmet. I think I remembered that. Also, Michigan's just a bunch of bitches.
Also, don't you find it kind of funny how public perception will tell you to hate Marcel Reed and Texas A&M's offense, but like John Mateer and Oklahoma's offense, who was dog shit last year. You just went over the numbers. Very, very bad offensively. I guarantee you Texas A&M and Marcel Reed's offensive numbers were significantly better. But going into this year, it feels like people more want to buy into that. I can't do it, man. I think this is a bad offensive team.
Yeah, you're right. Offensively, they were excellent. Top 19 in scoring, 23 in scoring, 30th in yards. But there's a big difference, Steak. They lost Cullen Klein.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
So they lost an offensive coordinator. Is public perception telling you to not like Marcel Reed? Is he a?
I would say that nobody likes Marcel Reed. Absolutely.
Really? Yes. I thought I was a little bit more of a Marcel Reed hater than most, but I guess I have more people in my corner than I thought. Okay, yeah, it's a very interesting point. Also, I thought Lil Shoot 'em Up brought up a good nugget. Well, not a good nugget, but a good thing that happened. I totally forgot. Mateer broke his hand in the middle of the season, and came back. So I did forget that. Thank you very much, Lil Shoot 'em Up. I appreciate you. Steak, that is kind of mid. I won't lie. I think that I hate USC, and I think that's a good hat. All right, here we go. Brutal schedule. 7.5 overs juiced or 8.5 overs juiced?
8.5 overs juiced plus 132.
Oh, I thought it was minus 132. Okay, plus 132.
Do you like Oklahoma? Let's have you do it. I'll do a better job this time.
Me do what?
You give your predictions.
Okay, so you're going to go through the schedule and I'll tell you. Well, here is what I'll say about Oklahoma. I don't like going back to back on being an Oklahoma hater. I think that Brett Venables has done a good enough job of making me look like an idiot and thinking that he really wasn't going to work out as a head coach, even though they went to the college football playoff and lost. I'll give him a little bit of a pass. It's hard to beat the same team twice, especially within 4 games. I'm not going to be an Oklahoma hater this year. No, I'm not. So I'll be very neutral when it comes to this.
DB Money Team. What's the point in giving predictions when you start it by saying you're a hater? Wouldn't you prefer honesty?
Yeah. What? I hate comments like that. Don't you want to know?
Be honest. You want me to lie to you?
Yeah.
I don't fucking like John Mateer or Brent Venables.
I'm a hater. Here's my prediction.
What do you want me to do? Pretend? I don't even know
how. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Also, I literally said I'm a hater, so let's do Degen's prediction.
Yeah, exactly. No. This is a horrible take. No disrespect, DB Money Team, but if you don't want to hear a hater's opinion, that's fine. Change the channel. But you don't want to listen to people talk about sports who are hate watching and have strong opinions and dislike teams. What the hell, man? Stick to hating? Question mark.
I might. Yeah, I might do that.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
I just told you I'm done hating on him. Go ahead. I'm neutral. You're going to hear a neutral guy's opinion. DB Money. Exactly. This is a neutral opinion.
At home against UTEP to start the year.
Loss. Fuck Oklahoma. I'm just kidding.
So
Oklahoma's going to beat University of Texas El Paso.
All right, perfect. 1-0. All right, at Michigan.
Oh, man. Well, DB Money, earmuffs. Actually, you probably should just change the channel because I'm a Michigan hater. But if you're an Oklahoma slurper, then you don't know what to do. You're like that guy that was caught at the gas station jerking off, but he had the gas nozzle up his ass. That's basically what DB Money is doing right now because I think he's an Oklahoma guy. How about this? Since I'm a Michigan hater, I'm going to give your Oklahoma Sooners a win. Give them 2-0. Fuck Michigan.
Okay, and I'm going on record as the hater. I think Oklahoma loses this game to Michigan.
Yeah, but that's because you're a Michigan slurper.
I don't know if I'd say that. At home against New Mexico. 2-1.
Win 3-0 for the Oklahoma Sooners.
At Georgia. No bye weeks yet.
They're going to lose to Georgia. That's 3-1.
I don't remember. Did the Red River Shootout move? Either way, it's a game against Texas, and it's after a bye. They get a bye, and then they play Texas. I think that this game moved. Kirby Smart is going to do just disgusting things to you, little shoot 'em up, and I can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
They did pip talk, yes. So it's gonna be a revenge spot. I'm not buying it. Fuck Bryce Underwood. Man, this is tough. Oklahoma and Texas. I'm not like super high on Texas, but I think I'm higher on Texas than I am Oklahoma. I'm gonna give Texas that win. So does that have me at 3-2?
It has you at 3-2, and then it has you the following week at home against Kentucky.
I think I gave Kentucky the win against Bama. I did not give them a win against Oklahoma. I will stick to that. Oklahoma will be 4-2.
Okay, perfect. At Mississippi State.
They should win that game. Give them 5-2. They should win that game.
At home against South Carolina on Halloween.
I'm not really that high on South Carolina. Yeah. So I got to give Oklahoma a win there. Are they 6-2?
6-2 to the swamp on November 7th. First time ever, I think, Oklahoma playing in the swamp.
God,
I think Jovan already has this marked on his calendar as a Gator spot. He's the Gator.
He does. You're right. He does. Fuck. You know what? I'm gonna give Florida the win as well. I'll tell Jovan a little bit on that.
Okay, you're 6-3, and wait till I tell you where you need to get your next 3 wins at.
Oh God. Okay.
At home against Ole Miss.
You know what? I'll give it to him.
7-3.
Venables against Golding. I'll give the nod to Venables there.
Man, Chambliss against Mateer. That's the mismatch I can't get past. But okay. This is my stand on business game. Doesn't change your opinion, but it is at home against Texas A&M.
Did Texas A&M play Oklahoma last year? They didn't, did they?
Not that I can recall.
I would love to know what Marcel Reed is capable of against a Venables defense. But I'll tell you what.
In Oklahoma stuff.
I'll tell you what. I think they can do it. I think they can do it. I'm gonna give Texas A&M the win there.
Okay,
Like 8-4.
Texas A&M the win.
Yeah.
So that's 7-4.
Sorry, 7-4. Yeah, final
And it's
game.
at Missouri to close the year.
You should be able to win that game. I think Oklahoma's going to go 8-4, so that lands on 8. So I'm
This schedule is Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Florida in the Swamp, Michigan, South Carolina. This is an insane schedule. Even having an 8.5 win total is a lot of respect.
I think that so I mean, look, I think I was pretty generous because I gave them a win against Ole Miss. I gave them a win at Michigan. I guess the losses that I have them at Florida was a little bit of an upset loss. Texas A&M at home is going to be a little bit of an upset loss. But Georgia, they're going to be underdogs. Texas, they're going to be underdogs, right? Yeah, they'll be underdogs, Texas. I don't know. You know what? I think Oklahoma is going to be a really interesting team this year. Steak, if this team beats Georgia in Georgia,
they're not beating Georgia. Yeah, that shit is not happening. Nicola, Freeze. I thought it was 7.5. It could be. I'm showing 8.5 plus 132, which probably means 7.5 is like over minus 150, which actually makes perfect sense in my opinion because I think Oklahoma's going 8-4 this year.
Yeah, I agree. All right, did we do Georgia?
No.
Let's do Georgia. We got about 10 minutes. We'll go quick. Let's do Georgia and
Shouldn't be hard for me. Shouldn't be hard for me.
Yeah, it sounds like you and I are both gonna be Georgia guys this year. They were my pick on Snowman Stream to oh no, they're not my pick, sorry. But I like them. You have Georgia and Oregon. I like Stockton to win the Heisman. But let's go through. I think we're both gonna like this Georgia team. 7-1 last year in the SEC, 12-2 overall. Mike Bobo, offensive coordinator. We know Kirby Smart is there 10 years, 117-21, 6 offensive starters, 6 defensive starters coming back, so a lot of familiarity. Top newcomer is a safety, Khalil Barnes from Clemson. Elijah Griffin's the emerging star. Gunnar Stockton is the quarterback. Couple of questions. Will a Chief Havoc creator step up? Who will catch all the passes? Zachariah Branch is gone. How will the right side of the offensive line shake out? Okay. Georgia lost to Alabama last year at home, 24-21. The only other loss was in the college football playoff against Ole Miss. Defensively, they were top 10 in scoring, 14th in total yards. The offense was kind of a problem. 50th in total yards, not great. 28th in scoring. The passing attack was not that great. 76 in passing, 220 yards a game. Was that a Gunnar Stockton thing? Was it a lack of receiver thing? I don't know. We'll find out. Stockton had 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 2,900 yards. Okay, Steak. Let's talk about the win total, and then I'll go through the schedule, and you're going to give your wins and losses.
10.5 overs plus 135, and they are 270 to win the SEC championship game. Best odds in the conference. Second best odds are Texas at plus 340.
Yeah. Okay. Week 1. Or do you want to give an opinion first on Georgia before we do this?
They're returning 17 starters. I am a massive Kirby Smart guy. The Big Ten has won 3 national championships in a row. I really genuinely believe, and I don't just say this every year to anyone who's maybe listening to us talk college football for the first time. I'm a Gunnar Stockton guy. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks Kirby Smart has had. He usually gets it done with kind of mid quarterbacks, or at least just average quarterbacks. I think Gunnar Stockton has the ability to be above average, which should terrify everyone when Georgia is so good at everything else and returning so many starters. Georgia, in my opinion, is going 12-0 and very well might win the Natty.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's something about Gunnar Stockton I like. I think he's just a gamer. He shoot him upset. He's tough as fucking nails. I love that. And my pitch on Snowman Stream was I think that Kirby Smart is going to kind of be feeling some heat. Not a hot seat to get fired necessarily, but it's been a couple of disappointing results for Georgia. Not even talking about losing a national champion or not winning the national championship. It hasn't even really felt like they've sniffed it. You know what I mean? You got to be sniffing it. You know, you're the Bulldogs in Georgia. You got to be sniffing national championships to appease the boosters and the fan base. Not doing that in Athens. I like a pissed off Kirby Smart this year. All right, here's the schedule. Steak. Home, Tennessee State.
1-0.
Home, Western Kentucky.
2-0.
At Arkansas.
3-0.
Home against Oklahoma.
4-0. That'll obviously be the toughest match so far. I do not think John Mateer will have enough offense to stay in that game, and I don't think Oklahoma's defense will be able to slow down Georgia enough.
Yep. And this is where the schedule starts to get one more game home against Vanderbilt.
5-0.
So 4 of the first 5 games are at home. The only trip on the road is Arkansas. And now the schedule starts to turn up a little bit. They go on the road, no bye week, on the road against Alabama. Revenge game.
But not really, because they pounded Alabama in that SEC.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right.
6-0. Keelan Russell don't got that in his bag yet.
Home, Auburn.
7-0.
Bye week. And then it's no longer the largest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville. It is now in Atlanta. Big home advantage for the Dogs. They play your Florida Gators.
Brutal for my Florida Gators. Brutal for my Florida Gators. That game being in Atlanta absolutely sucks. 8-0.
At Ole Miss.
Yeah, awesome game. You want to talk about a revenge game?
Yeah.
That's a revenge game. 9-0. Kirby Smart in a revenge spot against Pete Golding. Yeah, 9-0.
Home against Missouri.
10-0.
At South Carolina.
11-0.
Home against Georgia Tech.
12-0. The Dogs will go undefeated. Dogs aren't losing a game this year.
All right. I can only agree with that. Like the Dogs, you and I collab on the Dogs. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Dogs, but I'll tell you what, I'm doing something. All right, let's go to Alabama super quick, and then we'll shut it down and get out of here. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. Don't forget, while you're here, like and sub on the Book It Sports Twitch and YouTube channel. We're here every weekday, 10 a.m. We got football right around the corner. I think we have some games this weekend. Is week 0 this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Couple
God.
I'm excited about.
Yeah, Mondays, just so you know, we'll do a show schedule. We'll figure out what we're going to do. We've had a pretty good schedule in the past, but Mondays are usually the recaps where we go over everything. I think then Tuesday we talk some college, and then I think Wednesday we look at the NFL. Thursday we do Thursday night. Friday we do a tune-up for best bet. All right, we're not forgetting about baseball. We'll do a baseball guy stream later this afternoon. Steak and I have a couple other things to iron out as well with our Big Ten win total part 2 on the Fake Sharp YouTube. Okay, Alabama. Last year, 7-1 in the ACC, 11-4 overall. DeBoer is back. Ryan Grubb is back, offensive coordinator. He had him, I believe, at Washington. And then he went to the Seahawks. It was a failed experiment. Ryan Grubb came back to college. If anybody remembers that, your boy knows ball. You're welcome. 1 offensive starter coming back, 4 defensive starters coming back. Top newcomer is a defensive lineman that they got from USC, Devin Tompkins. An outside linebacker is their emerging star. He was a five-star recruit after 2 quiet seasons. And the most valuable player is cornerback Zabian Brown, 5-star prospect from the 2024 class. Not super familiar with that name, but I guess I will be now. All right. Ty Simpson last year was a pretty good quarterback, but the offense still rushing 123rd in the country, scoring 82nd in the country. 50th in the country. Yards, 82nd in the country. Surprisingly, their defense was pretty good last year. The 9th best passing defense, 13th best total yards defense, 20th best scoring defense. Pretty crazy. I wouldn't have expected that coming into it. Their wide receiver is coming back. Ryan Coleman Williams is the only guy on offense. Their secondary is loaded with returning starters. Zabian Brown, and then their strong safety and their free safety, and then their linebacker. Okay, Steak, I guess I can go over this one, but I do want to point out something about Alabama. They started the season with a loss on the road against Florida State, 2 touchdown favorites, but everybody quickly forgot about that when they rattled off the next 8 games they won. At Georgia, huge. Beat Wisconsin, not that big of a deal. Beat Vanderbilt, which was a very tough Vanderbilt team with Pavia. Beat up Tennessee pretty good. Beat LSU 20-9, and then they lost to Oklahoma only by 2 points. Finished out the year with a gritty win at Auburn. So overall, for a bounce back like Alabama did after that week 1 loss, you have to tip your cap a little bit. You have to tip your cap because I'm really not out on Kalen DeBoer, but I was a little disappointed with Alabama in general, how they started the season and how they ended the season. They got their ass kicked Indiana in the quarterfinal 38-3, but you and I were together watching that game. So tell me what the win total is. Give me your opinion if you have one, and let's go through the schedule.
Indiana, Alabama, maybe one of my best reads ever, by the way. I am a Kalen DeBoer guy. I hope DB Money's listening. I am not a hater. I've been the opposite of a hater of Kalen DeBoer. I really like him. I'm disappointed as well. I thought he would be better, and now I'm starting to wonder if this is a bad fit. I'm not going to say he's a bad coach, but I'm wondering if the Alabama DeBoer fit is just a bad fit. Then again, I'm saying that after they went 10-2 and made the college football playoff, and you just said it, with a pretty bad offense, specifically a very bad rush offense, which you don't expect from Alabama at all, who's had some of the best running backs of all time. I'm really excited about the fact that you're returning that many guys on a secondary that was top 10 in the country last year. That's pretty awesome in a league like this with so many good quarterbacks. don't have much else. I don't have much else. Everyone's excited about Keelan Russell. I'm excited too. The thought of DeBoer having a superstar quarterback is fun for me. Like I said, I really like the guy, but 8.5 wins feels right for the fact that it's still Alabama and you have to pay an Alabama tax. Alabama's never going to have a 7.5 win total, and their 9.5 would be insanely high. It's 8.5, basically juiced similarly both ways. Don't know what you make out of Alabama. We can go through the schedule. I'd rather you give your prediction than me. I have a very, very lukewarm temperature on Alabama this year.
Well, this for me is going to be one of those things where I think the quarterback position is so important for college football. It really can. A good quarterback can make or break your team. It can hide a lot of your flaws, but also you can get carried with other positions and units. So if your defense is good, which again I'm really surprised to see that Alabama had such a pretty solid defense in terms of the rankings. Ty Simpson was a little underwhelming and disappointing. I think to start the year, I thought he finished much better than he started. But overall, in terms of expectations, it didn't really feel like Alabama met them. I think kind of coming into this year, feels like nobody's really talking about Alabama. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but
I agree.
This is one of those things where it's like, I want to bet on a pissed off Georgia. Do you also want to buy into a slept on Alabama?
Maybe no, and here's why I'm scared. It's because I think Ty Simpson is a good quarterback. I told you that going into last year, and then at the end of last year, I think I said I still think Ty Simpson's a good quarterback. The Rams agree with me because they could have had fucking Ruben Bain, and they went with Ty Simpson to be their backup. He's lighting it up in preseason. I think we underestimate how hard it is to play quarterback if your run game sucks, which Alabama's did last year. And my question before I could buy into a freshman quarterback is the run game expected to be not just better, but significantly better? Yeah. Otherwise, I would have to worry about Russell a lot. And so
I love that running back's name, Jam Miller, I think it was. 130 yards, 130 attempts, 500 yards, average under 4 yards a carry, only 3 touchdowns. It's crazy. Average 45 rushing yards a game. Jeremy Bernard, your boy, 64 catches, 862 yards, was a leading receiver. And even Ryan Williams was also another disappointment. Where is that guy, by the way? Oh, that's him.
He's still
Ryan
there.
Coleman Williams. The Coleman threw me off a little bit. Okay. By the way, Keelan Russell, 6'3", quarterback from Dallas, Texas. I don't really think anybody knows anything about him other than he committed to SMU and then flipped. So sounds like
he's one of the top recruits in the country. People know that.
Okay. All right. 38 touchdowns with 3 interceptions, 72% of his passes senior year. Okay, Steak, let's go through the schedule. Am I doing this one?
I'm going to tell him to. Yep. At home against Eastern Carolina.
1-0.
At Kentucky.
Sorry. What's the win total?
8.5.
Okay.
At Kentucky.
1-1.
Good job remembering. There you go.
Right.
At home against Florida State. Revenge game.
2-1.
All right. At home against South Carolina.
I can't wait to do some research on South Carolina. I'm not all the way out on Lenore Sellers. I just saw something that said he doesn't have a fucking go to class. All he has to do is play football. Shane Beamer is a guy that I like and want to root for, but I'm going to give Alabama the win here. I'm going to say Alabama's 3-1.
Okay. At Mississippi State, more cowbell.
I don't really know shit about Mississippi State this year other than I think they're going to be a punching bag of the SEC. So give me 4-1 for Alabama.
All right. They also, by the way, are starting a true freshman quarterback at Mississippi State. All right. Next is at home against Georgia.
It's going to be a loss. Alabama's going to be 4-2.
All right. At Tennessee.
Jeez.
This is a hell of a schedule. Is that good or bad, Chase Profit Goons? Is 10% return on investment in college football good or bad? Is he clowning me?
Huh?
I never checked my picket. Am I good or bad?
I think he's probably fucking with you.
Yeah. Chase Profit Goons scares me.
Have you ever seen his name before?
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Oh. Yeah. All right, 5. Tennessee, let's stay focused.
Fuck, man. I might give Alabama a loss there. I'm going to go 4-3.
Okay, 4-3 at home against Texas A&M, and we have not got a bye week yet. I want to mention, so they are 4-3 in this thing you're doing, and they're at home against Texas A&M, no bye week. Oh fuck yeah! Chase Profit Goons was glazing me, dude. Let's go.
You think so?
Yeah, he's glazing me, dude.
Oh, I'm looking at some of his previous messages. He said,
I love when you do this.
You guys are overlooking the fact that CJ cut his dreads. Oh, that was a good comment. I think he's talking about CJ Stroud there. You may have the highest testosterone numbers at Book It. Get them.
Who did he say that to?
I don't know. First time viewer is state camera shy. Why no camera today?
What?
I don't know.
I like this. Am I the one with the highest testosterone? I book it? Probably not. I'm 37.
Be a man and become a gambling addict.
I like this guy.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know that I'm in or out on him. Kind of like
Okay.
Michigan.
That's
Not
completely
Michigan.
fair. We've gotten way off track, and it's after 12. At home against Texas A&M, you have them at 4-3, no bye week.
I'm going to give Alabama the win there, 5-3.
Okay. At LSU after a bye week. So after Texas A&M, they get a bye week. Then they travel to play LSU. They're 5-3.
Let's give them 6-3.
Okay. At Vanderbilt. Yeah, give them a win.
All right, fine, 7-3.
At home against Chattanooga.
8-3.
At home against Auburn.
9-3.
And you have that with the loss to Kentucky baked in there.
So you think they can go 10-2?
Realistically, I do think with this schedule they could go 10-2, yes. But I don't think they're beating Texas A&M personally. But
right. So you think 9-3 as well?
yeah.
So are you in or out on Alabama?
I'm out on the team, in on the schedule.
Okay. All right. All right. Made some progress in the SEC. This is fun. It's getting very real.
Yep. Shit's getting
very
real.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is fun. It always is. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. BTL should be running today. The Yap should be running today. Stick around. And what else, Steak? Anything else?
You call me after the stream ends so we can make a plan.
Yep, we'll make a plan. All right, guys. Good luck on all your wagers. We'll talk some baseball later today, dude, for a baseball guy show if you want to meet us there after all the Book It shows. All right. Good luck on your wagers. See you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.